Fellas, you think we could listen to the radio or something?
Radio? Who needs a radio? Ready, Harry? Mock. Yeah. Ing. Yeah. Bird. Yeah. 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 Mockingbird, don't everybody have you heard?
Have you heard?
She's gonna buy me a mockingbird. And if that mockingbird don't sing, she's gonna buy me a diamond ring.
That joke one more time?
Wait.
Just say it again. Yeah.
Every woman who enters the pod dome has to answer 5 skill testing questions about movies.
Yes, and welcome back to the franchisees. That is true. That is, in fact, our own Saw Trap and Hunger Game that we have to do.
Rolled into one. So we have friend of the pod, past and future guest, one of the original guests of the show, Mary Jane. Can I use your full name?
Sure.
Mary Jane. Welcome back.
Yay.
And your test begins now. Name 5 more, Francis, for a couple of movies that aren't the 2 you already named.
Oh, The Godfather 2.
Okay, I'll accept it.
Godfather 3.
I accept both of those, even if the title isn't technically correct. 3 more. You got it. Sophia's dad, you got it. Who could it be? What could he have?
I think that might be it. That might be it.
No. 3 more.
Well, those are, to be fair, his only good movies.
Godfather 1, 2, 3, Dracula.
Yeah.
Dracula?
It forms its own quadrilogy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Try one more. We'll just try one more. It actually, I think, is kind of hard, isn't it? For someone who wouldn't watch lots of movies, those are the first 4 you'd maybe think of.
Yeah.
And Dracula's only because we went to go see it.
Another young adult novel converted into a film set during the 50s.
He made 2 young adult adaptations from the same author. A book I remember being part of the Saskatchewan curriculum. So you may have also read this young adult book set in the 50s in grade school. A book about 2 groups of people, the riches and the poors.
One was
West
inside.
Side Story.
No, it's so close. You're so close. What else is it like the West Side Story?
Riches and the Poor is Pretty in Pink.
No. More, very close also, but older, set in the time of West Side Story in the 60s.
They weren't
50s.
Inside.
Outside?
Yeah. What would you call a group of
Outsiders.
The Outsiders.
Oh.
Did you read that? Did you ever read that?
No.
Okay.
I haven't
Pony
seen
Boy?
it either.
No.
I haven't
No.
seen it either, actually.
Yeah, well.
Okay.
I'm actually unlike you two, not a movie person. No,
All
I
right.
like movies.
Well, you're in the right place.
I like movies.
Yeah, you're in the right place. We're not really movie people. We just
No.
have a podcast where we cosplay as people who like movies.
Accurate.
Yeah.
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 I
Ask a skill testing question of Alex. He's not going to know.
Who are the 5 hunkiest boys in the Hunger Games series?
Yeah, 5.
Go.
Peter Malark,
That's one.
Gail Hawthorne,
Yep.
Finnick Odair,
Okay. He's doing really well.
Mahershala Ali.
Yeah, we'll accept that. We'll accept it.
I think his name was Bombas.
Boggs.
Boggs.
His name's not
Perhaps.
Bombas. Isn't that some dumb underwear company or
Bombas?
Isn't that a name? I just feel like I've heard that being sold to me on
Bombas?
a podcast before. Bombas.
Bombas? Really?
Keep going.
And
That was
Hamish Abernathy.
okay.
The original proto-hunk.
Yeah.
Hamish Abernathy.
Bombas is an apparel company.
Oh.
Yeah. Comfort-focused sock and apparel brand with a mission to help those in need. That's
Oh.
nice.
Aw.
See, sometimes when you buy something, it doesn't help anybody but yourself. So
Yeah.
it's nice that you could, yeah.
Well, I didn't know that, and that wasn't a free sponsorship ad, so...
Thank you, Bombas, for
Forget-
sponsoring the Hunger Games, the actual Hunger Games that our society is delving
The
into.
78th Annual Hunger Games.
Okay, what's my skill testing question?
Um,
Bring it on. Make it movie related. I'm ready. Come on.
Name 10 movies
10.
released since 1995.
What?
That's it? Oh.
That's it?
No, that's...
No, okay, I could do that. All right. Casablanca. No?
Wrong.
Wait, what was the date you gave me again?
1995.
1995.
Yeah.
1995.
1995.
The Big Sleep.
I haven't seen. That's definitely, that was from the 50s.
Oh, okay.
Assuredly.
Shit. 1995.
1995.
1995.
1995.
1995. Okay.
Like almost 30 years ago.
1995. Okay.
Crazy to say.
Ew.
I know. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Okay. Forrest Gump. Pulp Fiction. Quiz
these-
Show. Oh, no. Those are right before 1995.
94.
Oh,
If
okay,
you can
okay,
name
okay,
10
okay.
movies from 1994, that would be kind of cool.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. This is the Hunger Games podcast, Mockingjay Parts 1 and 2, featuring Mary Jane. And now on to the main event. Can Ben name 10 movies from 1994? Okay. Without looking. My phone is here, but I'm not looking at it.
Yeah.
1994. I'm in the zone.
Well, we're not looking either, so we're going to have to take your word for it.
Oh, yeah. That's great. Okay.
I believe.
Okay. Killers of the Flower Moon.
The Phantom Menace.
The Phantom Menace. Yeah. The Beach Bum, starring Matthew McConaughey. That's from 1994.
Speaking of Harmony Korine,
Yeah.
I watched like a couple weeks ago, but forgot to mention I watched Trash Humpers. Now that's a cool movie.
That's a movie.
That's a
You're
cool
all ready
movie.
for aggro drift.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, for sure.
I do
That's
really
the
want to see that.
prerequisite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the movie Trash Humpers, Mary Jane?
No, I haven't. No.
If you had to guess what it's about, based on the title alone, what would you say?
Trash humpers.
Yeah. Period. You're right.
Yeah.
No, you're
People
correct.
who hump trash.
That is literally what the movie's about. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. It's sort of an experimental film.
Yeah,
You know,
it's a metaphor.
it's a metaphor. Yeah. Okay. 1994. Forrest Gump. Pulp Fiction. I guess that's it. I don't know.
Those were the only two movies
Those are the only.
released in
Those are the only two,
1994.
right?
Yeah.
Because whatever, those are the two front runners. So I guess that's pretty much it.
That's it. Yeah.
Every
Well,
other movie from 1994 has been lost to the sands of time.
Yeah.
Oh, Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time.
Yeah.
That's from 1994. Yeah. Donnie Darko's from 1994, and
Oddly enough, so is its sequel S Darko.
S. Darko's from 1994, and what other Jake Gyllenhaal movie? Stronger, where he plays the guy who got his legs blown off in the Boston Marathon bombing.
Oh Jesus.
That's from 1994 as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, great.
Okay.
We're all film pros.
Yeah, we got it. All right,
Yeah.
good. Great. And, of course, the number one movie from 1994, The Hunger Games, Mockingjay Part 1 and 2, which is the movie we're
Both,
here
yeah.
talking about today. Yeah, so, MJ, why don't we start with you? Like, you're the one who had suggested we do these movies because you like these movies. You said the number 2 YA sci-fi, like, film adaptations, with number 1, of course, being...
Twilight, of course. I think, I feel incredibly validated having made you guys watch these movies and getting a text from Ben after the first two saying that he actually did like the first two a little bit.
He said, I believe the second one.
You like the second one?
I do
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
second one.
And I was pretty stoked. But I don't know. As a former teen girl, you know, these are my bread and butter.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I was saying earlier maybe like just a little bit too old to be really, really into the Hunger Games, but still got into it anyway.
Well, like, when did the first book come out, right? You would have still been a teenager, right?
It maybe came out, but I didn't read it till I was 18. Oh no, so I was a teenager. Nope.
Oh,
You're
okay.
right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I find it interesting that a lot of people I talk to who read the books, and a huge chunk of our fan base is grateful to you, Mary Jane, because
Sorry, I thought you were going to say a huge chunk of our fan base can't read.
That too.
of course
They are illiterate.
Of course, they haven't read the books.
we do cater
it's
to
true.
an illiterate audience.
Yeah, both things are true.
But they're very glad that, you know, we're not doing another Saw or another
Yes.
like Italian art film trilogy from the 70s.
Yes.
But a lot of people who read The Hunger Games haven't actually read the Ballad of songy wong birds and snaky snakes.
Snaky
so
wigs.
I don't know.
Snakos.
We're not getting there till next week, but it kind of it worries me. You know, it worries me that book was kind of ignored.
Well, but people just aged out, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Did you read all of the books, the original books?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, it's been a while, but I did.
Yeah.
And were you a part of like the fandom when these movies started coming out?
I think by that time I was like not as invested, but I remember being like reading the first book in my college dorm room and like crying when the sad parts happened. Though to be fair, I rewatched all these movies this last week and still
Did you cry?
still cried when the sad things happened. But I think I'm
beautiful.
just such a baby. Like it's not saying that much, but
Rue
No.
gets to people. Did Rue get
it was
to you?
that's
Yeah,
when I
yeah.
cried. And I
Really
was like
sad,
still sad.
It's sad. It's sad. I didn't cry.
Me neither.
Yeah. And you know, I don't want this episode to be all about gender, but I do think that because Alex and I are manly men, bros who, as we discussed, express our feelings and our fears through self-destructive habits like drinking and masturbating and
Yeah.
sorry,
just such bros.
Just-
always
just
just
bro
bro
stuff?
stuff, you know.
drinking and masturbating.
Yeah, and women, of course, don't drink or masturbate
No.
and read books instead and cry by candlelight.
To Rue.
Yeah, in their nice, dainty princess rooms or in bathtubs with flower petals in them.
Candles.
Candles, Enya music and so on.
I love
And
being a girl.
again, I really don't want to. I don't want to gender things too much or to make a bunch of assumptions about genders and so on. But I do think that the reason we like these movies less is because we're full of testosterone, and we are uncomfortable with women,
And our feelings and emotions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm sorry, I'm speaking for both of us. I hope that's okay. But in particular, strong women, and strong female-led films.
Yeah. I actually don't typically watch those.
No. Well, as we got off the bat at you were looking at the Godfather Francis Ford Coppola Bible book that is propping up your microphone to the proper level. Those movies you talked about, the Francis Ford Coppola, like those are the movies we're comfortable with. Godfather 1, Godfather 2, Godfather 3, Godfather 4, Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Godfather 3, the alternate cut.
The Outsiders.
I forget what it was called.
Yeah.
The Outsiders.
The Outsiders, yeah. And what we have in common with those movies? They're about men.
Yes.
They're about men like us, right? Hunks, yeah. The guy, Al Pacino in Godfather 3 is a man's man. He's a man's
Capital
man.
H.
I invest in IBM.
A true enemy has yet to reveal
To reveal himself.
Haven't seen it.
Dracula, right?
Hunk.
Dracula. He's
Gary
a man's
Oldman.
man.
Hunk.
I am the last of my kind.
Yeah.
He's a man's man. Yeah, he's not concerned with love.
No.
Or, hung up on
propaganda.
on a dame. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not really sure where I was going with this, but
It was good.
yeah, it's nice to have someone who was a former teen girl to discuss the YA franchise.
Yes.
And to suggest it in the first place. So thank you very much.
You're so welcome. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Anytime.
Well, that's the episode.
Yeah. I hope you liked it. Next week, we're going to be back for The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
Great title.
Okay. Well, we're wrapping it up. So thanks again to MJ. I thought these movies were okay. So yeah, next week. All right. Wrapping it up. Okay, we're back. Our producer and sponsor, Bombas, the apparel company, they said that the episode was too short. So I guess we're going to have to talk about the Hunger Games movies after all.
Talk about these 2-hour plus movies.
Yeah.
We didn't really do it justice.
No, I guess
I think we
didn't.
clocked in at around 12 minutes the first time around.
That would have been the shortest episode ever, huh? Damn, that would have been great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The disrespect
Easy.
towards the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would have been probably pretty upset, eh?
Yeah, like every time I was listening to the pod and you guys were ragging on it before you actually watched it, I was like seething in my room, you know, like it's like
I could feel it kind of in the atmosphere. You know when like, when they say, or like when if someone's talking about your ears are burning or something, or that sort of thing, I could feel the anger. Like I there was like something, a pain in my back, like almost like a voodoo thing where I was like,
You could
oh
sense
no,
it. You
like,
could sense her disdain.
MJ is dissatisfied
She's
with the show.
displeased, yeah.
No.
I think that happens a lot on the pod where we dread watching something and then we watch it and it's like, oh, you know what? That wasn't so bad.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's kind of the motto of the show, honestly, is that it wasn't really that bad.
Yeah. So far, at least.
So far. I was looking forward to watching these two because after Catching Fire, I thought like, okay, this is like kind of not bad. Like there's some stuff in here, and and I actually was impressed with how Francis Lawrence directed it. Not entirely, but I thought, compared to like the Virgin Gary Ross from the first movie, I thought the Chad Francis Lawrence did a better job.
Well, I wonder how much of it was Francis Lawrence's like real fault, like in terms of his choices, and how much was forced upon him on the like.
Yeah,
I'll lay my cards on the table.
Let's get it out there.
A big problem I had with these two movies was that they felt like they should be one shorter, like maybe like even 3-hour movie. I don't like dislike this world or the characters, but cutting them into two separate films, there's a lot of, to me, what felt like a lot of filler in there. Like I was saying in Mockingjay Part 1, one of the big action set pieces that takes like 5 minutes is just people walking down a staircase, which
I mean, it's a little bit more dramatic than that.
But they're back.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. Yeah.
No, I agree. Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, I think, and Francis Lawrence in an interview, because he's directing the new movie. It's the same guy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he's been talking about it and how he regrets making these two movies, and that it was, a decision that was trendy at the time. That was trendy at the time because of like Deathly Hallows 1 and 2 and Twilight Breaking Dawn 1 and 2 and whatever else, and not just trendy, but also like financially like a huge money-making move.
For sure.
To split them in two, shoot them back to back, spend a lot on the marketing budget, but have it be kind of similar. So it's not like you're really marketing two separate movies. You're just marketing one big thing that's going to take like, an actual full year in between to come out. But he said in the interview, like, it was a bad decision, and it prevented him. Early on in the stages of Songbirds and Snakes, they were like, oh, it's too much here. We got to make it two movies.
Oh, really?
And he decided against it.
He pushed
really?
back.
That's a true thing?
Yes.
Oh,
that's what he said.
Unless
anyway.
it's a surprise.
We don't know. Yeah.
Because remember Dune, like, we didn't know it was part one.
We knew it was part one.
Well, you could assume it was part one if you were
knew
like...
it was part one.
No, because people were surprised when the title came up and it said Dune Part 1. They never, like, advertised it as Dune Part 1.
No, you're right. They didn't advertise it like that. But by the time that it came out, I think they were pretty sure it was going to make a lot of money, and so they could feel confident that it would be part one.
Well, yeah. Well, also the movie only covers like the first half of the book.
Yeah.
And they were upfront about it. Like it's in the title screen. They didn't save it to the end or anything with it to be continued. But
yeah, which would have been frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess what's like a recent example of this working out and making a lot of money would it be like Avengers Endgame Part 1 and 2?
Sure.
But that's different.
Yeah.
Like, or sorry, not Avengers Endgame. It's Avengers, what's it called?
Infinity
War Part 1. Yeah, and Avengers Endgame. But that's different because it's not like an exact like adaptation of like a novel necessarily, as much as it is like a...
It actually is.
Much more serious or serialized like a comic book, like whatever, that they picked and chose like a bunch of different things from it.
If you read between the lines, those two Avengers movies are actually a modern adaptation of Crime and Punishment.
I knew that. I did know that. Yeah.
Deep.
You're into Dostoevsky, right?
Yeah.
Me too.
For sure.
Yeah, same. As long as nobody asks any further questions, we're both into Dostoevsky.
I'm
too, Alex. Right?
I'm currently reading what is known as his short. Well, it is his shortest and most accessible
Notes from the
book.
Underground?
Notes from Underground.
Yeah, that's my life Dostoevsky novel for real. that when I read that in university, and I was like, oh, I get it. It's a shame, eh?
This is about a curmudgeon who lives underground.
Yeah,
and-
it's just about a miserable man who's a piece of shit. And you read it and you're like, yeah, like, fuck yeah, finally. Like, he fucking gets it.
Dudes rock.
Dudes rock, yeah. There's a great little bit where I haven't read it in a long time, so correct me if I'm wrong with this, but
I'm not at that part yet.
Wait, what are we talking about?
it's a novella, I guess, written by Dostoevsky called Notes from Underground or
That's
Underground, yeah. And it's like it's just like this diary of like just a miserable piece of shit. But he there's one bit where like this kind of, I guess, like a higher class guy, maybe I think he might be like might be like part of the military or something like that. He kind of like accidentally bumps into him as he's walking or something, and then he's just obsessed over this for like months. Like just this, like the indignity of like someone bumping into him, like he doesn't exist or whatever. It's great.
Sounds like a Curb episode.
Yeah,
I was just thinking Larry David.
Yeah,
he sounds like a
that,
Russian
yeah.
Larry David.
He is kind of like a Russian Larry David. Of course, Dostoevsky, brilliant, saw all of this before any of us did.
That's true. Yeah.
He kind of thought like, there's going to be spin-offs from this. Curb, Taxi Driver,
Yeah.
Whatever.
franchisees.
The franchisees, yeah. What if there were two dudes from underground who had access to a microphone and could scrounge up enough money? Let's be real. Alex pays for it. Yes. And I edit it.
Alex is the sugar daddy of this podcast?
Well,
Wow.
except if I don't think that's how sugar daddy relationships work. And you correct me if I'm wrong, MJ. Maybe I'm just kidding. Alex pays for it, but I edit the episode, which is like minimum 4 hours of like
okay.
not just emotional labor, but physical backbreaking labor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm exploiting then.
Yeah. If anything, yeah. Exactly.
Well, there's always give and take.
There's give
You
and
know?
take. You're right. No, actually, it is a lot like a sugar daddy relationship.
You're like,
This whole metaphor didn't track out. I forgot that they didn't just buy you gifts that you'd have to have sex with the old men.
I edited the Halloween bonus episode. Or
That's
at least
right.
partially, and then you spliced yourself in.
That's right.
Expertly done.
That's right. Yeah. I might have to remove that out, the whole thing, because it actually doesn't make sense. It actually is much closer to a sugar daddy thing than I thought it I thought I was trying to say that it wasn't, but it actually is. Because I'm out here,
What can I
I'm
say?
out here doing the work, and then you're paying the money.
yeah,
That's right.
funding.
Yeah.
Yep.
But of course, you also, we're in your apartment and in the studio and everything as well.
And you have fun. You have so much fun.
I do have
Yeah,
fun editing.
he loves
them.
it.
I love it.
You love it.
Yeah. Not every time. You can tell. So sometimes I'm having
Yeah.
more fun.
When we walk out, it's like, oh, well, that was like 2.5 hours. Like, have at it.
Yeah.
2.5 hours of
There's
just
a couple of
aimless
those.
rambling.
Yeah. There's some times when I leave at the end of a recording and it's like, bye, Alex, see you next week. And then there are other times where it's like, hey, that was great. It was good to see you, buddy.
yeah.
See you later. Yeah. But other times I'm walking out of here and I'm like, I need to have a fucking shower. What am I doing?
Which one will this episode be?
Yeah, who
MJ?
knows?
Well, I guess we'll
Kind
see.
of in your hands.
Who knows? Yeah, you're the guest, so yeah, it is entirely in your hands.
Also,
yeah.
kind of fucked up.
Mm.
Mockingjay,
Yeah,
Mary Jane.
Mary Jane.
Mayonnaise Jefferson.
Mayonnaise Jefferson, which is your Hunger name. Yeah.
I wanted to talk about that actually.
Do you have one?
Okay, well, let me get into it. Hang on.
You're allowed to give yourself a better name if you have.
Mayonnaise, whatever. Mayonnaise Jones.
Mayonnaise Jane.
I really enjoyed your discussion of Hunger names.
Yeah.
But I would say that you missed out on a big category. Okay, so like you're like the name, the first, it's like one part is some sort of Shakespearean or
Ancient Roman, Greco.
Roman, yeah. And then like a what do you
Founding
fathers.
Just like the
American
whitest of white.
yeah.
Revolution,
Third
yeah.
category is some sort of like word that is just really relevant to like where they're from or what they do. Like it actually makes me laugh. Anyway, it makes me laugh. Like all the farming people have names like Thresh, or like one of them's actually literally named Cedar.
Right.
or like the fancy people are named like Gossamer and
Right.
Cashmere.
True.
Or maybe
Right,
Gossamer's
right.
not actually. Maybe I made that up. But like, like cashmere, gloss, like blah, blah, blah.
That's a good one if you want to take it. Gossamer.
Yeah, maybe I should take that. But I was like, if it's got to be something like kind of like ham-fistedly relevant to my profession, like maybe I got to be like Scrubs,
Goop.
Roosevelt.
Scrubs,
Goop,
Roosevelt.
or Goop.
Yeah, Goop.
Yeah.
For the listeners, MJ is currently in school training to be an ultrasound technician.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So it's all about scrubs and goo and babies, but not exclusively babies, injuries, kidney
Yeah.
stones,
Kidney
as
stone
Alex
people.
was mentioning.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How's it going? How's that going?
It's going so well. It's crazy how doing something you feel good about makes you feel good.
Yeah, right? I know.
It really works. I would recommend it.
Yeah. Well,
That's why we're here today.
Yeah.
yeah. This is the thing that we do that makes us feel good.
Keeps me alive.
Yeah. And then we go to our respective jobs and also feel good.
Yep.
Yeah. If there's two guys who feel good 24/7, it's Alex and Ben.
Yeah.
And now, thanks to your newly found passion, you have joined the 24/7 feeling good club.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gossamer Goop.
Gossamer Goop. That makes you sound more like a Willy Wonka thing or something.
Yeah.
Like Augustus Floop.
Yeah.
Gossamer Goop.
Sure.
Yeah. I wonder, maybe we would be doing that franchise sometime soon.
Maybe.
That'd be
There's
crazy,
nothing
right?
coming up
Yeah.
for that, right?
Who knows? I don't know. Whatever. It's not like they'd make another one of those.
Yeah. You can look back, listeners, and hear like all these Easter eggs where we kind of queue up franchises we're going to do, but they're not like really hidden because we very like conspicuously go, hey, wouldn't it be crazy if we did that
Wouldn't it
one
be-
day?
yeah.
And we're like,
If you're listening and you're not like
haven't caught
Mary
on.
Jane or Jordan, who listen to most of, if not all of the episodes, in the case of Jordan, every episode.
I'm almost every episode.
Almost
I'm
every
coming
episode.
for his
crown?
his gig. Yeah.
There is a literal crown, by the way.
yeah.
He has it currently.
Wait,
but if
really?
you want it, if you want it, you can get it.
Yeah.
Jordan.
Yeah.
This is me talking directly to you.
Yeah.
I'm coming.
He loves when we talk directly.
I know where
to
you live.
I'll tell you where he lives. I know where he lives. I know where he works too. You know where he works. Yeah. Oh, you can't say the name.
Oh shit. Sorry.
You have to say bagel shop. We'll bleep it out.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right. No, it's okay. We just don't want anyone to actually.
Wait, you mean baby? The restaurant owned by.
He works out at the.
No.
I didn't know. You're going to bleep it all out. You're going to bleep it all out.
It's just for work.
But Ben was talking so much shit that I had to time. Also bleep that out.
Yeah.
Then you just doxed yourself because you live next to the.
It's all being
Exactly.
bleeped out. It's all being bleeped out.
Guys, it's labor. It's as
I'm sorry, Ben.
when listeners, when your parents get angry at you for not having a job and only being a sugar baby, you have to tell them it's work. It is a job. It's
It
a
is.
job.
Mm-hmm.
So when Alex is making light of it's just the censor bleeps just drop themselves into the episode. It's no big deal because I pay for the show. Blah blah blah. It's work. Okay, it's work. It takes work to drag the file from the one folder I have to the other folder, and then to drop it into the thing, and then to edit it and make sure that it's not too loud. And
You're right. I am
it takes
sorry.
work.
I'll buy you that new pair of shoes.
Thank you, Daddy. Thank you, Daddy. I love you.
Podcast work is real work.
It is.
Thank you. And nobody is saying that. No one's saying that. Everyone's like, sex work is work, sugar baby, sugar daddy, this and
Oh,
whatever.
you guys have a podcast?
You have a podcast?
Come
Yeah.
on.
Like, oh, yeah. You just get together on your friend's couch and watch a movie and like smoke weed and do your podcast?
It's like yes, but not quite.
Not quite. We don't smoke weed.
Literally that.
We're always sober when we do it.
So far, yeah.
So far.
So
I know.
far.
We'll do a drugs episode one of these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do and watch Final Destination.
Yeah, great. I ran out of my bag of lasted years, but now it's gone.
Oh,
We'll have
that's
to
a
bleep that out. God damn it. It's just work.
First time I ever did was with Ben when
Yeah.
we watched Aphex Twin music videos.
I know, that was
That's
a very
awesome.
well.
Definitely bleep that out. I'm a professional now, actually.
You're a professional. Fuck! Now I gotta fucking do all this work.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was when Chris was visiting.
Yep.
Yep. And we went to the keg.
I'm going to the keg tomorrow with my mom.
Nice.
Yeah.
Which one? The haunted one?
No, York Street.
Yeah.
It's easiest for
that's
both
right.
of us to get to.
Nice.
Yeah, shout out to the keg. Canadian institution.
I was there recently as well.
Cool.
Underrated, kind of
Yeah.
like slept on. It's pretty good, and they treat you like a king for
They
being at a
do.
franchise. Yeah.
They do.
Oh, yeah.
And are you going to go home with your mom and do and then realize you didn't actually plan out what you're going to do? So then you just watch Aphex Twin music.
We're going to that is a sick idea, but we're going to do that except watch Three Colors, White and Red.
And that's 2 more movies released in 1994.
Nice.
Back to back.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad you are going to follow through on that.
Yeah, I will.
Do you watch anything else this week? I know we're recording kind of close to when we recorded last time. So.
Yeah, so probably not. But I didn't mention Trash Humpers last time.
Good.
And that was a great movie. Delivered exactly on the title. We both watched the Boogie documentary, if that counts.
No,
that doesn't count. Okay, we won't. We don't have to talk about
terrible.
that.
No, I mean, sure, we could talk about it.
It was bad. It's just kind of a YouTube video essay, and he's kind of just an unpleasant man.
Extremely unpleasant. MJ, this is you might recognize him, but he's just some YouTube guy who got famous. He's like a really big guy, right? And part of the thing was like, you know, he would talk about his problems, but he would always be really hopeful and thankful and nice and grateful. And people really ingratiated himself into the YouTube community. And then
he revealed to be kind of a bad person.
Yeah, just a bad guy.
Said a lot of questionable things.
Yeah.
But then still he was fueled by self-pity.
Yeah.
You know?
And so now his videos are like, I'm a fucking fat piece of shit and I hate myself and I'm going to kill myself and I'm going to
I have to sell my magic cards to live.
Yeah. And he's just like...
He made him in a movie?
It's a YouTube documentary. It's like not even an hour long. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's on Letterboxd.
Yeah. And it's on Letterboxd. If it's on Letterboxd, I'm going to watch it.
Fucking counts.
I'm going to watch it. And I'm going to log it. And then I'm going to watch it again.
I wrote a review.
Yeah. Alex wrote a review. I think I liked it.
You did.
Did I like it?
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Can I verbally illustrate something that just happened? That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I obviously I listened to every episode, and there's always like, what movie did I watch this week corner, and then being here watching you guys like bring it up and both simultaneously pull out your phones and start like scrolling through your letterboxes was really funny.
Yeah, funny and also cool, right?
Yeah.
Really cool.
Kind
really
of impressive.
Cool. Yeah, you're kind of like, wow, I'm glad I'm wasting my Tuesday night to be here, right? It's very cool.
I'm having a great time. I'm the one who like bullied both of you to like did watching this movie with me. So
yeah, and what I'm asking you is,
time.
do you regret it?
No. Oh my God, no.
Then we will try to make you regret it by the end of the episode.
Cut to 3 hours later.
Yeah. So, what else did you watch? Just going on, just not talking about the movies.
It was kind of cool though. It's like we were Wild West gunslingers at the saloon, and we both put out our our guns on the table as a sign of peace. Mm-hmm. It was just like that.
It is like that. Yeah, we're not going to throw our phones at each other. Yeah. Yeah, you know, that's why we don't make Westerns anymore, because you wouldn't have your frickin' guns. You'd take your phone. You take your phone out of your out of your thing, your holster, and then you'd throw your phone. Well, you know, you keep the OtterBox on, because then when you throw the phone in, you hit the guy.
You can go get it.
You can do some serious damage.
True.
To the guy's head.
Good point.
Yeah. Anyway,
weeks ago, I watched a movie that I think you enjoy. If you was the Addiction by Abel Ferrara. I watched it around Halloween. And it was it's a very heavy-handed vampire film called The Addiction. Shot in black. It's one of the most indie 90s movie I've ever seen.
Good.
It stars that woman who's in a lot of 90s indie stuff. I forget her name.
Lily Taylor.
Yes.
Yeah. That's right.
And a bunch of other... and Christopher Walken.
Much like PETA and his... and his thing, or Katniss and her bow. I can remember the names of actors. And 2 movies that came out in the year 1994. That's right.
2, yeah.
Yeah, 2.
But it was just so heavy-handed that, like, hey, it's an addiction, but it's a metaphor for, like, heroin and the AIDS epidemic and stuff like that.
So good. So good.
But, yeah, it was one of those movies that was, like, unabashedly heavy-handed to the point where it's kind of charming.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Abel Ferrara is the king. You're like, the more Abel Ferrara movies you watch, you're gonna be like, this is my guy.
Yeah.
Have you seen the original Bad Lieutenant?
I have not.
We'll have to watch it together.
Yeah.
Because when you make a movie called Bad Lieutenant and it's like about a bad cop, and even the Nick Cage one, which is very good, you're like, okay, well, he's not going to be that bad. He's bad. All right. Yeah, he's bad. Yeah. And listeners, if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. You'll see. I'm getting you excited.
I am excited. I'm fucking excited.
Yeah. There's a lot of that too.
Did you see anything recently?
I wanted to watch a bunch of movies yesterday, but then I don't know. It's just kind of,
You had to watch these movies.
still kind of, still depressed.
Aw.
It happens. And just, and smoking weed again. And you're like, oh, why am I doing this? And, but then that lends itself to sitting on the couch and watching movies. So I did watch one I had been meaning. Well, I rewatched Defending Your Life, the Albert Brooks movie, because I wanted to see it again. And I watched part of the documentary about him, but then I fell asleep. Pretty exciting day off. But I did watch The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3, the original one.
Cool.
And it's really good. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's one of the most New York movies ever made.
I love New York movies.
Oh, you'll love this.
The
movie.
Addiction is quite New York too.
The Addiction is Abel Ferrara is very, very New York.
I fucking love New
this
York
as well.
movies.
Yeah, this movie, almost all the characters are either New York subway passengers who are like, why is the train not fucking moving over here? Or they're the kidnappers, with the exception of the main kidnapper, Robert Shaw, who's British, who's like cool and British, right? They're all like, hey, I'm robbing you over here. And then it's all of the New York like transit like subway guys, and they're more than any of the other people I talked about. They are exclusively like chubby, cigar jumping, just like racist, just like disgusting guys who are like, hey, I'm fucking right, making the subways run on time over here. It's starting to hurt to do that.
Yeah. Are there New York cops?
There are some cops,
Okay.
yeah. There are some cops. But for the most part, it's Walter Matthau, right?
Oh, wow.
And when he's doing his thing, it still sounds like first season of The Simpsons, Homer Simpson, right? When he was
Frosty chocolate milkshake.
Yeah, it's super weird. It's super weird. If you close your eyes, you're like, oh, it's like young, early Homer. Yeah. Anyway, great movie. There's a couple of really good like lines too that just feel like very New York attitude, where they're like they're talking about the hostages on the subway train, and one of the subway guys is like, what do they expect for the 35 cents? They're gonna live forever? Something like that. It's like,
That's pretty
it's just
New
such
York.
it's such an attitude, right? I love it. And that New York doesn't exist anymore.
It's gone.
Thanks to Rudy Giuliani.
Gentrification.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
No, yeah. It's easier to pin it on one person.
Rudy Giuliani.
Rudy Giuliani. One day we'll do the Rudy Giuliani verse as well.
Yep.
Because there's a TV movie with James Woods as Rudy Giuliani.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
When would that have been made?
Right after 9/11.
Okay.
Yeah, when we were all riding the Giuliani wave, when we were
Yeah.
like, "This is the greatest. This is America's
he's a
mayor."
hero.
Yeah, he's a hero.
Yeah.
And then, as we all know,
He's not so much a hero.
to a certain type of disgusting man, he is a hero. You know?
Fair enough.
He's done amazing things.
MJ, you watch anything recently?
Other
than
these
the
movies?
Hunger Games?
Other than these movies, the last movie I watched was probably Nope.
Oh,
I
great.
finally watched Nope.
Great movie. I've seen it 3 times now.
I loved
me
it.
too.
Yeah, I actually really, really
Oh,
liked
great,
it. Yeah.
great.
It's definitely my favorite Jordan Peele.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
I
might
know
be
it is
mine.
mine as well. Yeah.
And another movie I saw recently-ish was, I also had Donald Sutherland in it, so it's relevant. But I went to the review to see Virus.
Oh.
Virus.
It was like this really not so good.
Oh, like with Jamie Lee Curtis?
Yeah,
I have
movie
seen
on
that.
a boat with the alien tech monsters.
Yeah, isn't he in
And
space though? Also, no, maybe I'm
It's
making that up.
mostly on the boat, I think. But anyway,
Yeah.
Donald Sutherland's also in it, and he was pretty fun.
Why did you watch that?
It was playing at the review, and
Oh,
it was
really?
It was I think it was
Oh.
free. Like it was like sponsored by someone.
When was it playing at the review? That's crazy.
Ben's genuinely offended. He was like, it was playing at the review and I wasn't informed.
Nobody told me. Yeah,
They were giving out free popcorn, free drinks. Like it was like sponsored. Yeah.
yeah, I agree. It's not a particularly good movie. But the robot effects are really good.
Yeah,
right?
I did
Yeah.
enjoy that part. Yeah.
It's like an evil robot goes and kills everybody. So there's lots of these movies, right?
What decade was it from?
99.
Yeah.
99.
1999.
Cool.
Yeah. Right before
The Matrix.
The Matrix. And I was going to say also 9/11 and Rudy Giuliani. Rudy Giuliani was...
It all ties in.
Yeah, it's all... See, and this is what this podcast is actually about, right? Is that people don't understand the connections that that are just like blatantly out in front of you, right?
Yeah.
People won't connect the dots, these little sheep, right? Because they're just so comfortable in their lives, right? With their Matrix movies and their Coca-Cola.
We're here to shear the sheep.
Yeah, we're here to show you, we're to expose, the rot underneath and the connections,
Virus. Rudy Giuliani.
Rudy Giuliani. It's all connected, right? Hunger Games. 20, 30 years out from now, this is going to be real. We're really going to have Hunger Games, don't you think, right?
Yeah.
20, 30 years max, I'm saying maximum. We're going to be having these.
Or maybe they'll just like fold in, child versus child combat into the Olympics or something like that.
Well, what are the Olympics if not like a sanitized Hunger Games, right?
And some of them are children.
It's true.
That's true.
That's true. That's crazy that some of them are children. Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited for the next Olympics because flag football is in. And I fucking love football now.
Yeah, what's up, bro? Yeah. Fuck yeah. Sorry, MJ, you're not invited. Only boys are allowed to watch.
Boys only?
Yeah,
okay.
Boys only football.
I will be honest. I joined a fantasy league at work, and it's gotten me like really into football for the first time in my life since 2005 when I owned a Madden game. And I've been really into it, and it makes it way more exciting to watch the games when, you're playing this fantasy game online and whatnot. And I downloaded, I subscribed to DAZN, the like sports watching thing. Okay. And I was like, this is great. Every Sunday I'm going to have the boys over and we'll watch some football. Finally,
chicken wings.
I can eat chicken wings and hang out with my bros who like this. Not once. Has anyone ever come over to watch the football games with me?
I suppose my invitation is lost in the mail.
You're usually working, but if you wanted to, we could definitely crush some NFL football games.
I'm usually working. That's, but I don't, but like that doesn't make any sense, right? Because where the invitation to the thing has nothing to do with whether or not I'm available.
Well, you should come.
Do you know what I mean? Like if when you invite me to your wedding one day, yeah, I know, and even though I'm not going to be able to go, I can already tell you I'm busy then. I would still expect an invitation, right?
Yeah, true.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Right. It's just a nice gesture.
Anyway, I think you liked football.
I don't, and I wouldn't come over. You're right.
And also,
You're right.
I don't want to and won't.
I see you once a week. That's more than I see my own mother.
I know. It is a lot. Anyway, if any of the listeners are into football and want to crush the games, I'm so lonely.
Yeah.
Every Sunday rolls around, I'm so lonely.
Come to
She's trolling. That was a troll.
MJ!
Sorry.
No, that's funny. Good for you. Good for you for making more work for me. That's great. Yeah.
He's going to leave it in out of spite.
Yeah. I'm going to leave all that in. I'm going to leave all the drugs you did.
No.
And whatever other awful things come up.
No, I'm a professional now. I have to
You're
be
right. And so am I. I work at a fucking hotel. I have a real professional job.
Hell yeah. We're all professionals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, let's get into these movies. Oh, no, wait. What's the one thing? Oh, and I made a mistake in the last episode.
Oh, yeah.
I'll do this and then we'll get into the movies.
So Ben said Sylvester Stallone and Woody Allen had never shared the screen outside of Ants.
Why would I even say that? Do you know what I mean? Like, why would I have even made that observation? It's because I knew that wasn't true. Yeah. Somewhere deep in this noggin, I knew.
You wanted it. You wanted to flog.
Yeah.
And of course, number one fan, Jordan,
MJ.
pointed it out to us on social media. So this is the only course of action, unfortunately. But it's fitting because there's a flogging in Catching Fire, as you pointed out.
Yes. So, for any new listeners, we used to have this thing, this corrections department sort of thing, where anytime we misspoke or said something, some factual error or whatever, we would flog ourselves. But then we stopped doing it for a while. Why? It's not that we didn't all of a sudden stop making mistakes.
Our backs needed to heal.
That's right.
We tore flesh from bone.
That's what you're saying.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway,
Ouch.
we're bringing it back now. I can't believe we didn't do it during the Sob series.
Yeah, it would have been fitting, right?
And we much more appropriate.
Definitely made a lot of mistakes too.
Oh, many mistakes.
But,
yeah. Now some of them I catch in the edit and I drop it in, like when we said Miranda Richardson died instead of Natasha Richardson.
And speaking of which, I was like, oh yeah, wasn't she on like Game of Thrones or something? She was not. I was thinking of another English gentle person.
So many mistakes.
I will flog myself in solidarity as well.
Oh, I actually misspoke on the one episode I was on too, and it haunts me to this day.
What did you say? Yeah,
He got so excited.
because now everybody's on the
triple
dog.
flog.
No, I mean, it just goes to show, like, I shouldn't be doing this, because I'm like, when you commit your words to permanent form, I guess.
Yeah.
And then I like was listening to the episode I was on, and I like misspoke once, and I was like, I was humiliated.
Back on Magic Mike XXL.
Yeah,
What did you
yeah.
say? Do
No,
you remember?
it wasn't a fact. It was just like I meant to say that he was disillusioned with his non-stripping life. But I said he was disenfranchised, and which is not the same thing.
No.
And
Well, MJ, I'm going to spare you the flogging in this instance because, unfortunately, but for the best, using incorrect words when you mean something else is not a flog.
okay, great.
It's only a fact, unless it's like a really serious, like, that disenfranchised, disillusioned, whatever.
That's small
People
potatoes.
make that mistake all the time.
Saying Miranda Richardson was in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, saying
Not so
Miranda
much.
Richardson died in a skiing accident and left Liam Neeson a widow when in fact it was Natasha Richardson. Kill yourself. So anyway,
Well, no.
I apologize. Oh, sorry, we didn't say too, right? I mean, you said Jordan pointed it out.
Yeah.
They're in Bananas.
Yes.
Woody Allen's Bananas.
Yes, bananas.
Which is, I believe, oh fuck, I'm gonna set myself up for, which without looking, I believe is, depending on what you count, either Woody Allen's second or third film as a director. The first or second being Take the Money and Run, and the actual first being What's New Pussycat, which is in fact called What's Up Tiger Lily. I can't believe I made another mistake. I'm so fucked. Please, Jordan, look, I'm mentioning you again. Like you were talking about last night. You said, my name doesn't come up enough on the show. And I said, it comes up so much. A re-edit of a Japanese movie where he does the voiceover, which I haven't seen and I imagine is very racist.
You do this to yourself, you sick bastard.
You do it to yourself. You do. The radio song.
I do
Right?
just, yeah.
Oh, it doesn't really hurt though.
Shut up. It does.
No, it's just theater. It's just theater. See, it's I'm not really hitting myself very hard.
no, this is a flog for me. Now that I'm looking at
It does hurt. It actually does
You got to
hurt.
put
when you
some, elbow grease behind it. Yeah.
Ow! It hurts. It
Punish
hurts.
yourself.
Ow.
it's a flog for babies.
It is a flog for babies. You're right.
Well, you know what? Get your own flog. This one's for Miranda.
That's for Miranda Richardson.
I'm sorry. You weren't on Game of Thrones.
But you know who was on Game of Thrones? Natalie Dormer and Gwendolyn Christie, who both appear in The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2.
To Kill a Mockingjay.
To Kill a
Classic about
Scout?
American. Yeah.
Wait, what is he? Fuck.
Scout.
Scout? That's not how he sounds. That's not how he sounds.
This is your neighbor, Boo Radley.
Fuck. Gregory Peck is like an easy voice to do. But
No, he's not. It's actually really hard.
Scout? That's not. How do you do it? What does he even say
Are
else
you
in that movie?
Guggenheim?
What else does he say?
Are you the man called Guggenheim?
Boo Radley.
That's The Omen. He's looking for a man with a goofy name in The Omen, but I can't remember.
Oh,
the name.
right, in The Omen, yeah. There's other movies that he's in other than To Kill a Mockingbird. I forgot.
Bogenheim?
Yeah.
Bagenheim?
Or in Cape Fear, he's like, don't kill my wife and kids.
Are you Max Cady?
Please, no, wait. Please don't kill my wife and kids.
On
That's
this
not
boat?
what he says in that movie either. Anyway, okay. We should talk about these movies and go home.
Yes. Hunger Games, Mockingjay, Part 1
Part
and
1
2.
and 2. Okay, Part 1. We actually got together to watch Part 2 together.
Yes.
Which was good. It made it easier to watch, and we could talk and have fun.
Yes.
The first one I watched earlier this morning while doing laundry by myself.
It's interesting, and as you said earlier, Ben, it's not really an action film, as maybe I was anticipating a bit more of an action film. It's very much a young adult filtering of propaganda themes, and it's not done entirely poorly. I just think there's a lot of filler.
Yep.
That's my take.
Yeah, I would 100% agree. These movies should probably not have been, well, to be, as we said before, they were made into two movies, I think not necessarily as an issue of adaptation, but to make more money, as was the style at the time. But they needn't be, and there's a lot of filler in the movies. However, one of the maybe whatever unintended or possibly intended side effects of that is that Mockingjay Part 1 being about propaganda, it's like I was kind of assuming like the first 30 minutes or 40 minutes of it would be, and then we would get to something else. But no, it's like the full movie is really about like the difficulties of being, I guess used as a figurehead for like political revolution and propaganda from both sides, and how it makes you kind of feel disenfranchised and powerless, to use the word, and disillusioned. And all of these are applicable. And I'm not saying it was necessarily great, but I think for like a young adult science fiction like thing, the movie like. Yeah, it's maybe a little boring in parts, but it has a lot of like interesting ideas in it that I was not expecting from this franchise or from like movies that are pitched to that demographic, like young, dumb, and full of cum teens,
young adults.
young adults. Yeah, MJ.
Yeah. Oh God.
You don't have to have a take or whatever. Just what did you think?
Yeah, I know. I agree that they should have definitely should have been one movie, but yeah, had to split it up for the money. Yeah, I don't know if I have. I made this happen and yet don't have any strong takes because these movies are more just. I like to watch dumb movies because they're easy on the brain, and these kind of fall into that. Nothing's too hard to.
But
too hard on the brain.
But what about in this movie where there's like I would say I agree with you for sure about that. But in this movie there's a little bit to like chew on, right?
More so in part 2, I think. And part 2 is when we kind of delve deeper into the gray zone, where it's like, I mean, it's not really like the gray zone, and it's not that complex. But there was that moment I think where we were watching, and MJ said, you said like they're all the bad guys. Like this is the moment where you kind of realize that.
Yeah,
which is always
does
interesting.
Come in the second one.
Yeah, I think there's some good interesting ideas just dealt with in a very like unsubtle and like not that like artistic way. It's like they're all bad. Ooh, or like
for sure.
But we also mentioned we did like that Katniss as a protagonist, though she does make the kind of like crying mouth agape face a lot, like
it's what they hired her to do.
It is cool that, and Katie pointed this out while we were watching as well, that she is just like terrified and afraid, and she's not a superhuman. Like it was unexpected for me watching these that she's not a big action star and just fucks everyone up with her bow. Though she does take down a ship with an incendiary with a bomb arrow, like in Zelda.
Yeah, well, we're gonna come back to that.
But she is like, for most of these movies, she is just in a state of distress. Which is kind of cool, like
she feels like a kid still.
Yeah. She never really steps into the like role to be like, I'm the big bad hero. She's always kind of reluctant about it and always terrified, which was cool for me.
Yeah. And especially in Mockingjay Part 1, where she's like disoriented from the last Hunger Games, like still kind of recovering from that, and split apart from Peeta, who she has a kind of a weird relationship with, I guess. But she's on her own, and she's just all of a sudden going to these like resistance meetings where she doesn't really understand what's going on and who's I don't think she ever really knows who to trust, right? And like Philip Seymour Hoffman's character, Plutarch Heavensbee, right? Like one of the weird things about Catching Fire is how they wrap it up really quickly. And that ending where he's revealed to be like actually a good guy is kind of weird, and you still don't really trust him. And then in this, I think he and he's a good actor, right? And so he carries it like throughout, where you're like, there's just you can't really trust like his character, right? Because how can you trust him to not be like a double, triple agent or whatever for this, right? And then we have Julianne Moore's president character as well.
Yes, President Coin.
Mm-hmm. President Coin.
And there's always two sides to a coin.
Whoa, I never even thought about that. Whoa. Oh, and coin, like money, right?
I saved it.
She was the one who split the movies in two to get more of that money. Julianne Moore was like, I'll sign on to do your little kids movie.
If you split it in two.
In two. She's so evil,
Yeah, she was the villain of Hannibal.
Yeah, she's the villain of every movie she's in.
That's true.
Safe, for example, Todd Haynes' Todd Haynes' Safe.
Map to the Stars.
Yeah, well, she is kind of in that. I try to think of movies where she's not.
The villain?
Yeah, Boogie Nights. She's obviously orchestrates Mark
The fall of
Wahlberg's
Dirk
fall.
Diggler.
Yeah, the fall of Dirk Diggler. Yeah, by fucking him too much. I love that movie. That's good.
I love Julianne Moore.
Me too.
Me
I love
too.
Julianne Moore. It was great to see her in this.
Yeah. Surprise. Was not expecting it.
Neither was I.
Also,
Neither was
young
I.
Mahershala Ali. Very cool.
Yeah. Pre-Moonlight, Mahershala Ali, who's in both of
Pre-Green
these.
Book. Mahershala
Yes,
Ali.
pre his greatest achievement.
Yeah.
MJ gave a look.
I actually haven't seen it, but I don't need to. I don't think.
Everything you've heard about it is true.
Yeah, and I can confirm you don't need to see it.
Yeah.
It's pretty stupid. The only thing that you're missing from not having seen it is the sight of Viggo Mortensen kind of rolling over in bed. He's kind of got a bit of a pot belly in it. He's wearing like a, what at the time they would have called a wife beater, but today we call an undershirt.
Tank top?
Tank top, I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
But he's Italian, right? So, he
so
calls it a wife
it's a
beater.
wife
He's,
beater.
it's like, I don't actually beat my wife, right?
It's just what it's called.
It's just what it's called. Anyway, he's like, that's his character. And his character in the movie is like, hey, I'm like talking like this the whole time. And he rolls over in bed and he has a full pizza. And he picks up the full pizza and folds it like as if like it's not cut, maybe. I don't know. But he folds it as into one big, when people fold the pizza slice?
Yeah.
He folds the whole pizza and takes a big bite out of
that's
it. Like in
amazing.
his bed, too.
I love that.
Yeah. And that's what I did yesterday
I
while
wanna do that
watching
right
the
now.
Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
like a real New Yorker.
Yeah, I'm eating the full New York,
watching
famous New York deep dish. just in case any New Yorkers are listening, we can
They're
make
pissed.
them mad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Stacked cast. The cast continues
Great
to get
Very
more
stacked.
stacked.
Yeah.
Julianne Moore, Mahershala Ali, Sarita Chowdhury as
Yes.
President Snow's.
Mrs. Snow.
Is his
I
wife?
actually, I
No,
don't think so, actually.
I don't think so. It's like his advisor or whatever.
Yeah.
Administrative assistant, the one who goes through all the mounds of paperwork for the Hunger Games.
Oh, there must be so much like paperwork and
Brutal,
filing for
awful, just awful.
organizing.
Yeah.
the games.
Yeah, all of
Bureaucracy.
the forced consent forms.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
it's terrible.
It's the real villain.
Yeah, bureaucracy is the real villain.
The Hunger Games, directed by Terry Gilliam.
Yeah. Oh, they did mention that there was one part of it. One section of this movie was filmed in the same place that Brazil was filmed.
Really?
Yeah.
In what way? Like the same set or the same like location?
Same location.
Cool.
Yeah. Will I look it up? No, I'm not going to. But it is. It's on the Wikipedia page somewhere.
I do love Brazil. Have you ever seen Brazil?
No.
Brazil is a movie you should see.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
there's a scene in it where Johnny Brazil, the main character, picks up a full big slice of pizza, full pizza, and he
okay.
folds it in two.
Is his name actually Johnny Brazil?
No, Jonathan Price is the
Actor's
actor.
name.
But Robert De Niro's
Sam
in it,
Lowry
too.
is his character.
Sam Lowry. I know. I always remember. Yeah, Sam Lowry. Rest in peace.
It's like 1984, but a comedy.
yeah.
Oh, cool.
1984 and a half. That's
Was
what he
what
was going to
originally
call it.
gonna be called.
Yeah. It's good. Okay, The Hunger Games. We have these new phases. It totally makes sense that it's split into two because this movie is all the preamble to kind of the final confrontation. But
Yeah.
it's I find when these I haven't seen a lot of the part ones of the ones that we were talking about, the examples, right? But I do find if you take away the part one and you just like for example, if this was the first Hunger Games and first and only Hunger Games movie you had seen, what would you think about it? And I think it's somewhat interesting sometimes to think of these movies that are so connected and so linked to the franchise that they can't really be taken out as a, even Catching Fire being the sequel, you could watch that as its own thing, and not really be too lost necessarily, right? But like the part 1 of 2 of a thing, you can't really just like isolate it and enjoy it as its own thing. You have to watch part 1 and 2. You have to watch Kill Bill 1 and 2, right?
Yeah.
Or you have to watch Infinity War and Endgame.
Of course.
But if you didn't, and you just watched Infinity War, for example, which I think is a kind of a good example to this one, I think that's one of the better Marvel movies because it's different, because it doesn't have to follow that same formula. And because they all die at the end.
Yeah, I was just going to ask. That's the one where they die.
That's the one
end,
where
it was a good ending.
Who's the little
I don't feel so
Twinkie
good,
Spider-Man.
Mr. Stark.
Yeah.
Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good.
I don't feel so good.
So
He's like not a baby. I always thought that was funny because
Mr. Stark.
it's the only time where he talks like a little kid. Something's not right.
My tummy hurts.
My tummy hurts. Yeah.
Mr. Stark, my stomach hurts.
Stark, my tummy hurts. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Like, anyway, whatever. What I'm trying to say is that movie taken on its own, isolated on its own, is kind of interesting. And I think Hunger Games as well, Mockingjay Part 1, like if you don't think of it as a setup to something else, it's an incredibly like bleak kind of dystopian vision of the future without all of this other kind of like typical sci-fi plotting and spectacle that you have to have, like the actual Hunger Games themselves, right? So I'm not saying it's like good necessarily, and I'm also not saying it actually stands alone, because I don't think it does.
And as much as I liked Catching Fire over the first one, I feel like you'd have a better time watching it if you'd watched the first one.
I agree.
Yeah.
I don't think any of them really stand alone.
You'd be a bit lost,
Yeah.
I think, without it.
Yeah.
A bit.
I think we can agree that Mockingjay Part 1 is maybe the most different out of any of them, right?
I'll agree with that.
Probably the most unique.
Yeah.
And not to say it's the best, but there's like a level of nuance in its discussion of propaganda and depiction of propaganda that I was not expecting from a movie like this, from like a big blockbuster, like young adult sci-fi franchise. And I doubt that like the Divergent movies or the Maze Runner movies or whatever other like Hunger Games clones like have something as serious as this one does.
Wouldn't it be amazing if like Maze Runner Scorch Trials was
like
actually
really
just
good?
like a super deep movie about like a really complex socio-political issue, and
It
they
might
just
be.
nail it?
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's a real deep wait, what did you say? Socio-political issue that about how hard it is to find yourself, get out of a maze.
Hey,
It's one of my biggest fears.
being
In a
labyrinth
maze?
phobia.
Yeah, for sure.
I get it.
Yeah.
Well, I hope it is a really good movie, and I hope it shuts you up.
I can't wait. We're gonna do Scorch, the Maze Runner next.
Cool. I actually haven't seen those. I haven't seen a lot of those.
What if they're good?
Other YA adaptations.
Yeah.
I would be super down to watch them though.
Well, you'll be invited back when we do them in 10 years. Yeah. Try to avoid watching those movies for as long as possible.
Did you guys feel at all, because I hinted towards this in the last episode where we recorded, but when they got to District 13 and there was this whole huge infrastructure of the rebellion kind of already in place, I was a bit like, whoa, wait a minute, where'd they come from, because like for the whole movie, the whole first couple movies, the Capitol is so omnipresent and it feels like they have like total control. And then all of a sudden in Mockingjay Part 1, it's like, oh no, there's this whole like other rebellion faction that's been around the whole time. Or am I just being a CinemaSins loser?
No.
No, it's okay. We can be honest.
No one's going to call you that.
The only thing I have to say, as far as like someone who knows a little bit more about like the lore,
Yeah.
is like
MJ has read all the books.
They mention, I think it's been such a long time, but they mention at some point that like District 13 was always secretly like a military base, or they were like mining for like, or they were building like weapons and stuff there, but it was
They're all
like a
military
secret.
people.
Yeah. So like, I guess it was always set up for that. But then I guess, for the rebellion to go on. I don't know. Yeah.
They probably mentioned it in the movies and I just maybe didn't hear that line. But I was surprised when they get there and it's like, it's like the rebel base on like Hoth or whatever, or like Endor. Like it's already, they've got infrastructure around it.
Right, but maybe that's how it has to be in totalitarian society that's so oppressive, that the underground has to be so underground that like it's a surprise to even be aware of its existence, like when you get pulled into it. Right?
True, yeah, yeah. It's a small nitpick. 0 stars.
CinemaSins. Yeah. Yeah, this is a real zero popcorn bag movie.
No.
Yeah. No, it's not. So I was genuinely surprised how much of it is about propaganda, like not just including propaganda, but involving it. And I wanted to say, or wait, no, I wasn't going to say. Oh yeah, I took a propaganda of Jennifer Lawrence. Yeah, they're talking about, yeah. I took a propaganda of Natalie Dormer. You know what I'm talking about?
She's beautiful.
Yeah. I know you were taking a propaganda.
I had a huge crush on her, on Marjorie Tyrell specifically.
Yeah,
that was
for
her
sure.
character's name,
For
right?
sure. Sounds right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
What other propaganda jokes can I make? I guess that's really the only one, right? That's the classic one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of propaganders, did you guys think Liam Hemsworth like kind of got hotter in Mockingjay Part 1? He kind of looks a bit more like a man.
I mean, he got older. Yeah, we're both right. It's a man in uniform. It's also he is physically older.
Yeah. Okay.
He is more of a man,
Cool.
less of a boy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was gonna say.
I gotta be Team PETA though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, okay, maybe we could talk about that really quick. So, as you mentioned in your introduction, this being about like hot boys, at least in part, explain that to us, and explain the PETA thing, because I know a lot of young women reading this would have liked PETA or whatever, but in the movie and in the sort of weird, forced, kind of underdeveloped and also overdeveloped at the same time love triangle, like with her and PETA and Gale,
Yes,
right?
Gail Hawthorne.
Yep. Gale just seems like kind of like a better, like maybe, he just seems like kind of a hotter guy than PETA. I don't know. So what's the PETA thing about? Tell us, talk to us.
What's the PETA thing about? Like the love triangle, or like what's the appeal of PETA in general?
Yeah, both.
Oh, okay. The love triangle, my theory is, what is it? All of these young adult books have one. Mm-hmm. I think to an extent, like the main character is always supposed to be like a reader insert.
Yeah, for sure.
I think not as badly in this one as like say Twilight, where she's actually so bland and has no personality whatsoever. So she could be anyone. She could be you reading this right now.
Yeah.
That's
how I felt.
Yeah, and they have to put it in. Well, I don't know if they have to put it in, but they do put it in.
It's appealing to the demographic.
Yes,
yeah.
exactly, right.
Yeah.
And as far as PETA, I like PETA. He's like nice. He could make you bread.
He is nice, and he could make you bread.
Like he could paint you a nice painting. Like I'm into that.
He could
paint you into the forest floor.
Yeah, he could make you a tree. He could make you into a tree if he wanted to.
Oh, and they don't really show it, or in the movies maybe he was miscast, but in the book he's like an absolute unit. Like he's absolutely juiced.
That's what I So that's
PETA?
Yeah.
That's exactly, that is one of the reasons I wanted to ask that, because I remembered something different about him in the book, but it's been so long that I don't really remember what happened, and I didn't look it up. But they mentioned it in the first Hunger Games that he's really strong. And they show him like throwing something, right? It's like a lance or something, I don't know. And they're like, "Oh, we'll use your strength." And then they never really come back to it.
Yeah.
Except for when he's choking Katniss to death at the end of the first movie.
The end of First Mockingjay.
But then, first Mockingjay. But then he's all jacked up on trackerjacker. Yeah. Remember that time
juice.
after the keg when we went home and did trackerjacker? You remember that?
What?
No,
where we all did trackerjacker Venom and
watched
tripped.
Apex Twin.
Yeah.
That was fucking crazy, bro. Yeah. We'll bleep that out too.
Yeah.
Just bleep out the original instance of the word with trackerjacker. Just insert yourself saying trackerjacker.
That's so much more work. God damn it.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
I'll buy you that bag you've been eyeing.
Oh, thanks, Daddy. Yeah. That's so nice. When he says bag, it's code for Blu-ray. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Instead of $1,000 Birkin, he's buying you a $3 Blu-ray. Or?
No, he's buying me $1,000 worth of Blu-rays,
Oh.
which unfortunately is not that much if you really get the primo stuff.
shit.
The new 4K shit.
That's just a few 4Ks.
Yeah.
What's a Birkin?
It's a kind of bag that's really expensive.
Mm-hmm.
I'm honestly not a bag person either, so I don't really know. But
yeah, the bags. I don't know. What are you, a shoe person?
like, what do I? No, not really.
None of the above.
No, not really.
Bags, shoes I could kind of get behind. I could understand. You're like, oh, I'm going to wear funny shoes today. That's fun. That's what I think about.
Buy me funny shoes,
you wear
Daddy.
a bag, it's like, what are you going to put your water bottle in your bag?
What do you got in there? Blu-rays?
Yeah, what do you
Yeah.
What do you got in there? Trackerjacker venom leaking all over your Birkin bag? Stupid ass thing to buy.
It is kind of nice in this movie, which maybe is different in other YA movies with these love triangles. You guys make me really excited to watch Twilight. You know, I've never seen
good.
it.
So
it's
good.
It's so much. I don't want to make it too big in your mind, but it's so much better than you could ever imagine.
But what's cool about Hunger Games is that, like, as kind of, you know, forced as the love triangle is for whatever reasons, they do have like just a lot of even-headed discussions as if they are brokering some sort of, you know, non-monogamous boundaries or whatever, which is kind of cool to see. And I wonder, is like, are things more heated? And because it never really gets to the point where, you know, Peeta and Gale are like going at each other, or either of them are confronting Katniss about it. You know, everyone's very respectful when it comes to their polycule.
Yeah, and the stakes are too high for them to really have these discussions believably.
So maybe it's that, right?
I think that might be part of it. Because Twilight, there's some time where they're like, okay, well, no one is directly threatening us right now, so we can kind of, you know, have a discussion about, do you want to be with the dog or the vampire guy? You know,
there is a decent amount, actually, now I'm thinking about it, of them also kind of the two guys in Twilight discussing amongst themselves, you know, like, we got to put it aside for Bella.
Yeah. Oh, and I guess that sort of happens in True Blood as well. Did you ever watch True Blood?
Oh, yeah.
That's a much worse version of that whole thing. But yeah, there's, you know, I guess the love triangle is just very, like, simple. It's a simple shape that people can understand. For babies, it's a baby shape. It's a baby shape that people can understand. When in fact, in real life, like, polycules are more like
tetradecahedrons. They're like tesseracts. They're the 4D cube.
What's my favorite shape again, Alex? Tell me, what was it?
Rhombus?
Yeah, rhombus. Yeah, you're right. See, we know each other so well.
We're syncing up.
Yeah, we are syncing up. Yeah, rhombus. It's much more like a rhombus in real life. Yeah. Anyway, I don't remember how many points are in a rhombus, but I'm not going to look it up. 4. There you go. You heard it here first. It's 4. It is 4. It's 4. Now, it's 4. It's just a square that's kind of fucked
on its
up.
side.
It's a square that's just a little
bit like,
it's a little, And when, you know, but why? And nobody knows why. And that's what's so crazy. Math is so crazy. Nobody knows.
Should have asked Will.
But he's not
We
here.
shouldn't have kicked him out. He froze to death on the streets after we booted him. Yeah.
Will died of consumption.
I'm so worried I'm going to get kicked out at any second.
You're not going to get kicked out.
We watched you watch the movie.
We watched you watch the movie. Yeah. And I believe you when you say you've watched the other movies and you've read the books.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, fair.
So that was like the first part of the question, but the real part of the question everyone wants to know is, what's the appeal of Peeta?
Well, now I get it.
Yeah.
Like in the books, because they never bring it up, but yeah, he's supposed to kind of be like a more fit big guy, right?
Yeah, but I think even independently of that, there's appeal. I don't know. There's appeal to Peeta. Like, he's like the soft one. We like the soft one.
Yeah, he's soft.
And like
with his platinum blonde hair.
Yeah,
that is funny in the last, because that's not in all the movies, right?
I forget
too.
When you get her in her monologue in the book, she talks a lot about, or thinks a lot about, how she's like, oh, me and Gale, we're too similar. We're gonna burn each other. You know, Peeta's like the soft like water. He's like water to my fire. Like
right.
You know, like
cool.
that kind of
that
thing.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Dude, we should read these books. Sounds kind of hot. Yeah, the inner monologue of a woman. What's that like? I have to choose between these two boys.
Tough life.
Do I like shoes or do I like bags? That's pretty much it.
That's all I think about.
This is the misogyny episode, by the way.
Yeah, what did Will call it? Phrenology cast?
Oh no.
Nope. Not us.
Not I. It seems like as good as time as any to bring up the eerie parallels this movie has with the current conflict in Israel-Palestine.
Oh, great. Jeez, drop that on me. Jeez, Louise. I did mention that. Okay, so when I watched the first movie earlier today, and I think, I mean, obviously this came out in 2014, right? But it draws from all sorts of real life conflicts and images that you would have in war zones and rubble and all this other sort of stuff. It is nothing specifically to do with Israel, Palestine, or anything like that. But there are a few moments that of the kind of like, I guess, like urban resistance warfare, like war zone stuff that is very eerie to watch. Like as a viewer in 2023, specifically one point where Katniss is watching these like planes flying over, and she says, "That's the hospital. They're targeting the hospital." Yeah. Before she shoots one of them or both of them down with her exploding arrow. Mm-hmm. And there's actually a kind of some real world parallels from this movie, like one of the Katniss like propaganda kind of lines that they, I believe they feed to her, or maybe they don't, because I think that was part of the idea is they feed her all this propaganda stuff, but she's so unnatural. And they have this kind of section where they're talking about, well, what inspired you about Katniss? And it's all these things that she did without being told to do them, like aligning with Rue and like, other things she does for Peeta when he's in need and so on. And so they realize we can't really puppeteer her. She's much more powerful, like just coming up with it and believing in it, right? And at one point she says, if we burn, you burn with us, right? And there's an actual section on the Wikipedia page for the Mockingjay Part 1 called Political Ramifications, which is always it's a very impressive section to have on your Wikipedia page for a movie. Not many movies get those.
Whoa.
So here, I'll just read you these 3 examples, okay? On November 20th, 2014, some showings were reportedly canceled in Thailand because protesters were using the 3-finger salute at demonstrations against the country's military government. Wow. Okay, number 1. Number 2, on November 24th, 2014, it was reported that in relation to the Ferguson unrest following the shooting of Michael Brown, a protester had scrawled graffiti reading, "If we burn, you burn with us," on an arch in St. Louis, Missouri, or St. Louis, or Missouri, depending on how you say it. And on September 11th, 2015, okay, whew. Some Catalan pro-independence protesters used the 3-finger salute at the freeway to the Catalan Republic against Spain's government. So there is an actual,
interesting,
like whatever, art inspiring life, inspiring art, inspiring whatever.
It's seeped into the real world.
Yeah, and part of me thinks, well, if we burn, you burn with us, I think is actually like a really good kind of slogan. I can see why someone would be inspired by that. The 3-finger salute thing, I think, is seems a little dorky to me, but whatever, all power to the people in these oppressive situations. And so I was definitely watching, not so much in the second movie. In the second movie, there's some pretty upsetting parallels as well. Oh, yeah. But in this one in particular, with the focus on propaganda, I could not help but think of in particular, the Israeli government propaganda that we are kind of being forced to consume on a daily basis that I, speaking only for myself, is driving me crazy. And so it's very weird to see that reflected so eerily in a children's movie from 2014, But I guess that is to say these are not just for little babies.
No, perhaps we were too hard on them for being babyish.
Yeah, perhaps we were. These are grown-up,
they're young adults
movies.
They're grown-up young adult movies.
You're right. And, young adults, they're not so bad. Nah. They've done some good things.
They get a pass.
They've done some, lots of young adults in recent history that have done some good politically.
Greta Thunberg.
That's exactly what I'm thinking of, yeah. A little creep. We don't like her. We're very anti-Greta on this show. No. We'll get that out. I have nothing against her.
Yeah,
I have nothing against her.
That was funny. Keep it in.
I have nothing against her or the environment.
Yeah.
I've said it a number of times. I'm pro-environment.
I could take it or leave it.
I could take it. Yeah. I got an environment for you.
Yeah. One time a squirrel pooped on my shoe. What's up with that environment? No.
A tree fell on my nephew.
He's fine.
After that, I said, fuck trees. The rest of my life. That's the serious part of the podcast. Yes. We can move past the serious part. Just all that is to say, if you are watching these movies in 2023, Enjoy seeing the images you're seeing every day, fed back to you in a very weird way. That gave me pause, I guess.
Yeah,
and
that's a good way to say it.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes we go to the movies to escape, and other times we go to the movies to learn something. It's crazy. Yeah. And I was not expecting to learn something from these movies, and I didn't. And the end. No, I'm kidding. I was impressed.
Yeah.
Yeah. With certain elements of this. Yeah.
Me as well.
Yeah. I'm so glad to hear that.
You don't sound glad.
No, I am. It was kind of odd watching them for the first time in a couple years this year, just now. I was actually going to say, like, Catching Fire, I think, is my favorite personally.
Yeah.
Because I think...
still agree
right,
with that. Yeah.
Okay.
I still think it's my favorite.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think that the movies are, like, actually that good. I don't think their political commentary is actually that, like, subtle or deep or whatever. So I think it works best when they're sticking to, like, let's just fight in the arena, you know? Because I don't actually think that they're, like, that smart. But maybe maybe I'm not giving enough credit. Like, maybe there's, like, something to be learned here.
Well, but let me address that by saying I also don't think that they're smart or, like, on the cutting edge of whatever, political theory or whatever. All I'm saying is that the way that movies work and why I love movies so much is that, you never see the same movie twice, right? Mm-hmm. You never step in the same river twice, Alex. You ever heard that? Mm-hmm. Heraclitus of Ephesus said that. That's true. You can Google that. I'm not going to get whipped for that. Mm-hmm. And I said his name probably the right way instead of the way I used to say it, which was Heraclitus, which is funny, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. Clit, you see.
Yeah.
What's
funny
that? It's a funny word.
What's that?
You'll find it one of these days. You'll figure it out.
I hope so.
No, I'm not saying that they're like genius movies. I just think that any time that you watch a movie that you're not expecting to have any political or societal relevance,
or just any kind of theme behind
or any kind of theme,
like Out of the Shadows, Ninja Turtles.
Exactly. Yeah. And that is probably our fault for approaching these movies as like more disposable entertainment than they actually are.
Yeah.
And maybe we're doubting Suzanne Collins. It's easy to say, oh, she just she watched Battle Royale in 2000 and thought, gee, I could make a lot of money off of that if I changed a couple things.
I could do this, but not Japanese.
Yeah, pretty much. And there's some stuff in this movie, like that I thought was really interesting. Yeah.
There is, but I do agree with you, MJ. I think like having the structure of the whole, like, here's some stuff and then there's the kind of like gamey action sequences kind of worked for the first couple movies. And again, like, I do feel like, and you were talking earlier about how this being kind of like a setup for part 2.
Yeah.
But then if like part 2 was just like a jam-packed like thrill ride, like a 1.5 hour, just like, things moving really quickly, like that would have been kind of cool. As it stands, I feel like the interesting political stuff in this movie is kind of undercut by the filler, and then the more of the action stuff in the second part is undercut by the filler.
100%.
And I also agree with what you said, MJ. I just feel like there are things about these movies, just like choices, directing choices, stylistic production design choices, that I also just don't like all that much. There's like cool ideas and cool characters and interesting thoughts. And then there's some stuff about what you're actually watching or listening to and consuming that I'm like,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's okay to be in your phone when you're watching these. Yeah.
And ultimately, I think that's why I like them so much. My ideal movie is one that you can put on with your friends and talk over. So, I mean,
Yeah. And I have no problem with that. I used to, but I don't anymore.
Yeah.
I've grown.
We've all grown a bit.
Yeah. I used to be really bad with that too.
Me too.
Like being like no talking.
Yeah.
But
I wouldn't spring it on people who weren't expecting it. Like, you know what I mean? And I wouldn't do it for every movie. I wouldn't do it for this, for example. But if it were like a more serious thing or something I really wanted to like see or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
But the thing there's a couple embarrassing things. But the thing that's the most embarrassing, other than the other thing, but I'm not going to bring that up. We'll wait for someone else to. When Maxim guests on the show, he can bring that up. We can talk about that. It's pretty bad. It's bad, but no. I used to be really like bitchy with my parents about it. Like, and it's like they're watching a movie with me because they like spending time with me and enjoying our interests. And and if they were talking, like, let them talk, like, relax. You know what I mean? Or like I would talk with them, and no big deal. But I used to be like, please, no talking.
Mom.
Yeah. Seriously, like, Mom, shut up, Mom. I'm trying to watch a movie, Mom.
This is serious.
Yeah, it's like, come on, like, grow up. Yeah. Spend some time with your parents. Be nice. Yeah.
So part 1 does end with a bunch of people rescuing the victors from the Catching Fire's quarter quell, and they find PETA, but he has been hijacked.
Yeah.
And he has like been kind of programmed and trained to associate Katniss with all the bad feelings in the world, which is kind of how I feel about my father.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. Or how you and I feel about any woman on the street. This is the misogyny episode.
Chronology cast.
Oh, no.
So he sees Katniss.
Sorry, Alex.
And, it's okay.
He's okay. You're okay.
I'm fine.
All right. Good. See, he's fine.
PETA attacks Katniss and like destroys her windpipe, and that's kind of how the movie ends.
Yeah. Well, one other thing. I mean, to continue to belabor the point of this being the kind of dark, like, Empire Strikes Back style,
Yes.
Depressing movie. The opening of the movie is Gale and Katniss talking, right? Or is it Gale and Katniss, or is it Katniss and the other guy? No. Sorry, it's Katniss and Finnick talking. And the kind of last line of that opening kind of cold open part is Finnick saying something like, "I don't care if we all die," or whatever. And then it cuts to the title. And then the end of the movie is Katniss seeing PETA like writhing around violently in his bed, like going through trackerjacker withdrawal, as you and I have done, and come out on the other side better people. And then it cuts to, and you see Katniss's like reflection in the thing, and it cuts to the end credits, like pretty bleak, like beginning and ending kind of brutal movie for kids,
Trackerjacker withdrawal is one of the most powerful and strong withdrawal symptoms that anyone could go through.
We know, man. We know.
Yeah, it's serious.
Yeah. Are you proud of us?
Very.
Yeah.
Did you guys do the train spotting method where you got some like Campbell's mushroom soup and just hid in your like
well, I mean,
childhood bed?
I'm not sure how did you get through trackerjacker withdrawal?
Oh, just like a nice cup of tea.
Well, okay, MJ, like, you're better than me. I get it.
Giga Chad, MJ.
Wow.
She just
very
she just
cool.
decided to get over it.
Yeah.
What's your excuse?
Yeah, so you just woke up one day and you were like, I'm not addicted anymore.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. Well, for me, it took 3 years, 1.5 years in a sanatorium, and then the other 1.5 years, I went out to the British Columbia wilderness, and I got in touch. I got into some really crunchy stuff, like some real like back to the earth kind of white guy with dread stuff, and some like drum circle stuff, some Burning Man stuff. And I just kind of like found myself, but it was a long process of like learning and unlearning and healing and unhealing and, replacing it with other drugs.
Yeah.
Just like a really tough time.
You should have just had a Rooibos tea.
Yeah, I didn't know you could just do it with tea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck, man. That's a lot of time wasted. But that's my life. Just wasting time. That's what it's all about. Fuck. Man, I can't believe it was so easy for you to get over.
So part 2 picks up exactly where we left off, and it's kind of them taking the fight to the Capitol through District 2. Where they attack
storming the Capitol.
But first they crack the nut.
First they bust the nut.
but then they do January 6th.
I guess they do. Oh no.
Storm the Capitol.
They storm a Capitol.
Sorry. Wait, but let's go back. I just had to get that joke out there. It just came up.
They do.
But you're right. First they have to get that nut.
Yep.
And how do they get it?
Now I gotta get a nut, gotta get it quick, because I love this shit. So give me that nut, give me that nut, give me that nut.
Force?
Force? Yeah, they just bust it.
Yeah.
What is the nut again? I don't remember.
The nut is in District 2, which is where like they it was like the military stronghold for the capital, I believe.
Right.
And it was just like stores upon stores of the capital's like firepower.
Right.
And it was all in like a mound or something called the nut.
A nut-shaped mound.
A nut-shaped mound,
Yeah.
Which they have to bust.
Yeah. And they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then someone shoots her right after.
Oh yeah.
One of the nut people.
The squirrels.
Yeah.
They all like kind of surrender and are coming out, and Katniss is like, join us or whatever. This is kind of when she's grappling with being used as a propaganda figure, being kind of leaning into it but being conflicted by it. And then she unexpectedly gets shot by one of these people, and then that's when we kind of see Plutarch and Julianne Moore kind of being like, this is great. Like the more she's endangered and stuff, like they're kind of like rubbing their palms together, being like, yeah.
And this is where I would say hopefully we can end any comparison to any real life conflicts at the moment. That's when we see that that Julianne Moore as president is not like a freedom fighter or like a
she's opportunistic.
Yeah,
she wants to be president.
She wants to be the president.
Yeah.
And then and we see her at the end of the movie in full on Nazi style, or not the movie doesn't it's funny that it doesn't play with a lot of like directly like totalitarian or fascist like Nazi symbology or whatever, as much as it does take the sci-fi versions of that, like straight up Star Wars stuff and like things like that. Like it's filtered, it's removed by one or two previous like sci-fi franchises.
It's a few
right?
degrees of separation.
Yeah.
But then
It's
again,
the same thing.
Yeah, it also has like just the color palettes of like depictions of like ancient Rome and stuff like that, which the Nazis like drew inspiration of how like the Roman Empire, when whatever, it's all just one big like feedback loop, man, isn't it? Like,
yeah, it's crazy,
kind
bro.
of fucked up, bro.
It's totally crazy.
Yeah, when she shows up with that severe Bob though at the end, you know that she's pure evil.
Bobs are evil.
Yeah, Bobs are very evil.
It's the evil Bob. Yeah, you see it. And she's got the full like the gray cloak or whatever.
Yeah.
No, it's fully. It's over. It's
honestly
over.
pretty good, but
she does look good. Yeah, she looks good when she gets killed too. Spoilers. We'll get there.
Yeah, lots of people die in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it kind of becomes a journey where this ragtag team have to make it kind of to the capital. And I do like that aspect of it. Though there's, of course, plenty of time for filler conversations and juicy hot boy gossip.
Yeah.
They always got to make time for that. But they make it into the capital, and the capital's been all booby-trapped. And you guys rightly pointed out, just before it's said in the movie, that it's like the Hunger Games. And then Finnick Odair goes, welcome to the 76th annual Hunger Games or something.
It's a freaking Hunger Games.
The whole city is a Hunger Game,
Yeah.
It's like...
Isn't that
bigger.
Fucked? Yeah, it's a whole Hunger Games. Because they can't just have another movie that doesn't have Hunger Games in it. They already did that with the propaganda games, right?
Is the prequel going to have a Hunger Game in it?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh buddy, it's like the first Hunger Games.
Number 10, I think.
It's a
10 or 11.
There
10?
you go.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, just you wait.
I think that's like my favorite part of this movie though, is because it's like a return to form. It's like let's get back to the original formula. Let's make it some kind of Hunger Game.
Yeah.
I think it's funny that we call it a return to form when it's like part of the same. It's like say the same movie, right?
Yeah.
It's like
yeah.
they never actually strayed away from it. They just took their sweet fucking time getting
they were reading the book, and when they got halfway through, dollar signs flipped up in their eyes, and they went, "We can make this 2 movies." Yeah, it's brilliant.
It is a genius move.
It is a genius move, and I don't know. I guess I'm kind of struggling with this as we're like talking about it, but I still think it's a bad idea, and I think there's tons of filler, and I don't think either of these movies are like good necessarily. But there's something really interesting about Mockingjay Part 1 just because it has so much room to breathe with the propaganda stuff that there's like literally no other movie I can think of that is like that much about, like, sorry, not no other movie, no other like blockbuster, like sci-fi YA movie that is like that focused on one like theme at the expense of any other like action or interesting stuff happening.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
Like when you describe it like that, yeah, it is
There's
interesting.
something about
that it exists in that way.
Yeah, I'm never going to watch it again. I'm just saying it's like, it's cool that it's there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I never thought about it like that.
Yeah, it is kind of cool.
Well, and that's what the show is all about. It's about making people think in a way they've never thought before. That's right. Joe Rogan. Who else? Andrew Tate. These are the kind of guys that we're kind of like
Drawing from?
Yeah, exactly. These are the kind of like the like podcast like
Our podcast Rushmore.
Rushmore. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan,
Andrew
Tate, Ben Turnbull, and Alex Blank.
Yeah.
And
Are you keeping your last name a secret?
Not
just in case.
Not
right?
because, well, I'm already gonna get mega canceled for liking Valerie and her Week of Wonders.
No.
But
it's in the Criterion Collection.
But it's more because my last name is hard to spell and pronounce, and just it's more for that rather than secrecy. But also secrecy.
Yeah.
But also it's hard to spell and pronounce, as you discovered for yourself today.
Gotcha. Yeah. I was gonna try to say it, but I was like, I don't even remember actually.
Oh, great.
Exactly.
Perfect, So Rogan, Tate, Alex and Ben, and then of course Jordan and Michaela Peterson.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are our guys.
The Cumtown guys.
No, I mean we've taken their spot.
That's true.
Yeah. Who's more influential, right?
That's definitely
think
true.
about that.
Yeah.
You guys,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Where were we? They encounter saw traps. It's kind of fun.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. The Hunger Games turned out to be Saw and John Wick.
Yeah.
Mushed together.
These movies were probably coming out concurrently with some of the last Saws, right? Like when did that first run of Saw kind
And
of
some
wrap
of
up?
in the early Wick as well.
And the early Wick. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Late Saw, early Wick.
Yeah. Late Saw, early Wick. That's what my dad used to say. Sorry. I can't believe I have to go to. I can't believe it's already my bedtime.
I know, I'm
So what
sorry.
time is
Fuck.
it?
It's 9:00. Yeah.
No, we
Gotcha.
like to-
We're moving into the wrapping up of the second one.
Yeah,
phase.
before I can incriminate myself too badly.
With what?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, okay. So now MJ, you're going to tell us the worst thing you've ever done in your life. That's right. It's difficult, isn't it? That's our new thing on the show: is that every guest has to say the worst thing they've ever done.
That's fun.
Yeah,
That would be great.
that's like its like a whole different podcast too, right?
Yeah,
that's a
is
good
true.
idea.
Yeah.
Pressuring people into saying the word. Yeah,
I
murdered
once
someone.
got in trouble at work for having a stomach ache, which was true. And then I sat down. This doesn't make sense unless without context. I used to work at a bar. They let me go off early, and then I sat at the bar drinking for a little while, and they were mad at me.
That's a ballsy.
Wow.
I know, yeah. That's pretty bad.
That's the kind of thing that gets somebody thrown into the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't pull that
Yikes.
at ultrasound hour.
No.
No,
This
you
is bar
shouldn't.
time. No.
You shouldn't. The drunkest ultrasound
No.
technician in town. Is it a boy or a girl? I don't know.
That's your spleen.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who gives a shit?
Yeah. No, that's not actually that bad. I just couldn't think of anything else. Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, we're going to make a Bad Santa style movie, but it's about you being a drunk ultrasound technician. That's actually kind of a good idea.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Bad ultrasound.
Bad
technician.
ultrasound technician. Yeah. In the style of Bad Santa.
And the acronym is BUST.
Nice.
That's
Bust that
amazing,
nut.
actually.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is
Cool.
good.
Okay,
Cool. All right.
Write this down.
Yeah, it's a good idea. We'll make it a documentary. Because if you ever fall on hard times and start drinking enough to be a bad ultrasound
To
technician.
be a bust.
Oh no. Already the demise of my career and haven't even started yet.
It's brutal. That's the way it goes. Yeah. Oh well.
So what happens? They eventually they die off one by one. Mahershala Ali gets blown up.
Yeah, he has the Woody Harrelson fate from from Thin Red Line.
Yeah.
The bottom half of him gets blown up.
Finnick Odair is killed by descent-like monsters in the sewers.
Yep.
Yeah, they could pull those out from somewhere.
Kind of nowhere. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy.
Cool. Yeah,
it was creepy. They're well done. Yeah. There's that big sludge trap where all the
Sludge and
sludge.
wires.
Yeah, and that kind of felt like Death Stranding a little bit, like the sludge and then the kind of wires from nowhere picking the guy up. Like
I've never played
it just seems another vibe. But I've watched all the cutscenes because Kojima is really like a movie director.
That's true.
Yeah.
And it was also like did you ever watch the music video for You Only Live Once by The Strokes?
Oh, I must have at some
Oh,
point.
yes.
They're in
actually.
like a glass box that's
Yes.
slowly filling with black liquid.
Right.
I actually love that song.
Yeah.
Great tune.
We're a pro Strokes podcast as well.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we're talking. Yeah, we're pro stroking it. Is this it? That's what I always ask. That's what I ask myself every time I come. You know what I mean? It's is this it? Right. They really hit the nail on the head there with that. Yeah.
Yeah. So what else happened? They all die off one by one, and then eventually we're left with the main players.
Yep.
Primrose.
Primrose. Well, they're
done.
So at some point, President Snow is like, "Everybody, come to the White House.
Come to my house.
Come to my house." Yeah, we're watching the Hunger Games movies. we're eating
watching football.
We're eating pizza paws. What were they?
Cheetos paws pizza flavor.
Cheetos paws pizza flavor. We're eating those, and and then they all get blown up, including Primrose, his sister.
He's working as a medic.
Who did the bombs? Was it President Snow or was it President Julianne Moore?
It's pretty insidious. It was a pretty crazy move.
Yeah, totally. And and she assumes power, and is in her first act as president is her second act, other than getting dressed up in like the evil I'm an evil president Hillary Clinton pantsuit. Yeah,
and getting a bob haircut.
And getting the bob haircut.
First she gets the bob.
Her third act as president after getting the bob haircut, getting the Hillary Clinton pantsuit that also looks like a Star Wars dictator kind of robe.
Yep.
And the third act is getting the round table together and voting on whether or not we should execute President Snow, and then we should hold a new Hunger Games with the children from the Capitol.
Yeah.
Awesome. All of the queer-coded children from the Capitol.
It's time to make them fight for our gray and black wearing, cishet entertainment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they're going around, and some people are like, "That's disgusting. You're insane." Other people are like, "Yeah, they should pay for it."
Yeah.
What's Katniss gonna say?
She says, "I get to execute Snow," and she votes yes to doing it, to doing the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
But you find out that
but obviously she's got something.
Scheming.
And this is what, not to CinemaSins it, but this is sort of what I thought. Julianne Moore must have had some other thing going on, because like obviously Katniss is. Did Julianne Moore think that that Katniss was in this position where she was like, I'm going to go ahead with this, or did she not think that she had some other thing up her sleeve? Right.
I don't know.
I'm not sure. I guess she was very confident that all of this kind of like programming and deprogramming and like propagandizing maybe did work on her.
She's too blinded by her own her hubris.
And her bob.
And her bob, yeah.
Yeah, it was the dye job was seeping into her brain and like affecting her.
They're like, Coin doesn't like you, Katniss, because Mahershala Ali, before he like gets blown up, he kind of lays it out where it's like, if you died, that would look really good for the propaganda machine, and Coin doesn't like you because like you could be a political opponent or something once this is all over.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why she would just I guess she assumed also maybe that the satisfaction of killing Snow would be enough to sate Katniss's deep bloodlust.
Yes.
And Katniss fakes it and she shoots her with an arrow.
Yeah, in something of a callback to her original display of defiance in the first movie when she shoots when she's going in to do that test where all of the games makers are like going to vote on her and give her the score.
The talent show.
Yeah, she ends up shooting an arrow towards them, like aiming a little higher, right? And and so she does with this. And it hits Julianne Moore in the chest, and she dies fabulously. with one simple streak of blood coming out her mouth. It's like the best way to die in a movie.
Mm-hmm.
We also have President Snow coughing into a napkin and revealing that it's with blood. Another great way to die in a film.
Well, he gets crushed by the angry mob.
Yeah, so he's laughing, he's loving it,
Yeah,
but then
he
they all
loves it.
rush him and they rip him apart. Yeah.
That's how I want to go.
Yeah,
Ripped
like
apart.
Mussolini, as
Like-
we were saying, or Gaddafi. Yeah, just like beaten by a mob. Yeah.
And then Katniss goes on to live her best Tradcath life with Peter.
Yeah, finally.
She
And
lives
then
happily ever after.
that's what these movies are all about.
Yeah.
Like, if that's the last image we're left with, like,
And she does break up with Gale. They boot him from the polycule for possibly being in on the bombing that ended up
Yes.
killing
Yeah.
Primrose.
yeah, for being politically dubious.
Yeah.
For whatever, potentially using terroristic tactics. And
Yeah.
Katniss would never do that.
No. Yeah, and then you see them having a picnic with their two beautiful children, and they are like dressed like a
It's so weird.
1950s catalog or something.
Or like
Yeah.
pioneer, like
Yeah.
settlers kind of vibe. Even.
Yeah, very much so.
It's
Yeah,
trad.
it is trad. And listen, there's nothing to all of our trad listeners, and we know there's at least two. That makes it sound like I'm talking about one couple that listens who are like really trad. Yeah. So yeah, it's you, whoever you are, that one couple that listens together, which is very cute. Don't stop listening to the show.
Yeah.
But also, your way of life is inferior to ours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're cool.
We're heathens. We're a cool non-trad. What's the opposite of trad?
Alt?
Yeah, we're alt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're snorting trackerjackers right now.
Yeah.
Oh man, don't get me back into that
No,
shit,
he just
man.
got
What the
out.
fuck? Why? That's so uncool of you to do that in front of both of you. Okay, so MJ, can just flip it on and off like a switch, whatever. But this took me a lot of time to get over, man. I told you not to bring any.
Fuck.
Well, I'm gonna do it now. I can't just like see it and not do it.
Yeah, I have a plate of trackerjackers.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah, I have a microwave plate of bees.
Well, all right, bring it over.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me one. Give me one. Thanks. Oh, wait, are we eating the bee or are we snorting the
I don't
venom?
know. I wanted this bit to end.
Oh, man. Wow, I feel so good. Oh, man, this is great. I'm so jacked up right now. This is amazing. Oh, okay. I'm going to strangle somebody.
Oh, no.
No, I'm not going to. I'm just kidding. You remember when we used to do this all the time, right? It's like, it never made me violent. It just made me kind of like, blah, like kind of crazy, but not in a bad way.
No.
Yeah.
You're ready for work.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait to go to work in 3 hours.
Yeah. And like it wasn't just the venom that made him like that. They were like Clockwork Orange in him kind of
Yeah.
with the imagery and whatever.
Yeah, for sure. They tortured him and brainwashed him. Yeah.
Poor thing.
Yeah.
Poor
Yeah.
Pita.
Poor PETA. Anyway,
But it works out in the end.
am I the only one who's going to do it, or are we not going to do it together?
It's weird now.
I've got school in the morning.
Well, what the fuck? Now you just made me do it, and I thought we were all going to do it. Now I'm the only one who's high. Do you know how fucked up that is? That would be like bringing Coke out at a party, and you're like, okay, we're all going to do Coke, and someone's like, I don't know, I don't really want to, and you're like, come on, everyone's doing it, it's really cool.
And then not
and
doing
then,
it?
Yeah, no, and then you get them to do it, and then nobody else does it. And then they're the only one who's high and all jacked up. And you're just going to leave me like this, and I have to go walk out in the city, go on the fucking subway, and take the subway back to my apartment and stay up for like 10 hours?
But that'll be the best subway ride of your life.
Yeah, it will be, eh?
It's gonna be good.
Yeah, it's going to be like Pelham 1, 2, 3. If you're planning on doing a terrorist attack or a robbery on the subway, do it right now. Because I'll be there, baby, and I will be enjoying every minute of it.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I can't believe you would pull that on me. That's so fucked up.
You describing that situation is giving me social anxiety, so I apologize. I
think I got to the root cause of why it would be uncomfortable to do that.
Yeah.
Well, now you know.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I'll never
All right.
do it again.
Thanks.
You want to
know-
watch some Aphex Twin music?
Yeah, I
again?
would love to. Yeah.
You want to listen to Autechre?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Or Merzbow. You ever listen to Merzbow?
I've not really listened to Merzbow.
Okay, good. We'll drop some in. Lose all of our listeners. We won't drop some in. I'm just kidding. You have to search that out on your own. All right.
Great.
Mockingjay 1 and 2.
Should we rate these pepperoonies?
Yeah. Tell me. Give me a rating system to use.
For part 1,
Yeah.
how many propos out of 10
Oh, we didn't even talk about that. They call propaganda propos.
They use the Australian shorthand, which is adding an O for a couple of things. I think they say holo, which I assume means like the holographic map or
Yep.
something like that, and propo. And bottle-o for the liquor store.
Bottle-o.
And smoke-o for your smoke break.
Okay, how many propos?
Propo?
Out of 10?
Yeah.
Out of 10. Oh, okay.
Or out of sorry, wait.
I made it out
That's
of 10.
irrelevant. Okay.
I think I liked this enough to give it a positive rating, maybe 6.5. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
10. Best movie ever. It's so hard for me to rate things because like I just watch them to just because like they're entertaining, you know, not because I think that they're actually that good.
Do you have Letterboxd?
No,
That's
I
fucked
don't.
up.
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
MJ just like watches movies
Just
and then
to enjoy
that's
them?
just to enjoy them. It's not about like ticking something off a list. It's just about like, it's actually really hedonistic. It reminds me of your trackerjacker abuse. You just like do something because you want to do it and
Yeah,
because it makes you
yeah.
feel good.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
it's not all part of like a weird little like connected kind of logging like social media network thing you have to like do and keep up appearances at. Sounds weird. Like why would you even bother?
Yeah. Are you even free?
No, no, I guess not. Yeah,
I
I mean,
guess not.
I feel like I could rank them against each other, but I don't know if I could rank them against all movies ever. You know what I mean? But I also don't track. Yeah, exactly. I don't track my movie watching.
Yeah, but you do track
Jackers.
Jack.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
do. Yeah,
You
except
guys wanna
not today.
track
I'm the only-
tonight?
Well, yeah, obviously
Oh,
I
I'm sorry,
do.
Ben already
Yeah,
tracked.
obviously I do. I just did it. So and no one else did.
Oopsie. Oops.
This is terrible. This is like the worst thing that's happened to me on this show, maybe ever.
Yeah.
That's so fucked up.
It's the worst
Anyway,
thing I could remember happening to you on the show.
I think it's probably the worst thing that's happened.
Yeah.
Sorry, I want to amend my rating. Maybe 6.5 is a little ambitious. Maybe it's more like a 5.5 or a 6. You know what I mean?
That's
I just-
actually kind of where I
Yeah.
landed with it too. I would have said 5, and then I think I would give the second one 5.5 lines of Trackerjacker Venom out of 10. But I think if they were, if I could see a combined like 3-hour supercut,
Yeah.
I think it would be like a 7 or an 8. You know, I really think
I think so too.
tearing them in twain, being twixt asunder.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm saying.
No, 100%. Those are words. Yeah.
Did hurt these two films.
Yeah.
And I think there is a really good single movie somewhere in here.
Yeah, I agree. And maybe that movie is Songbirds and Snakes.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe it is. Maybe it's really good.
Ooh, I can't wait to see
Yeah.
it.
Well, no, I really agree, Alex. I think if you could somehow make this into one movie, if we could do like a fan edit, which I know are very popular, and I don't watch very many of, but I have before, and there's value there. Somebody do it.
Yeah.
I'm not invested enough to do it, and also I think you should have read the books. So you have
Maybe
to.
I should do it.
You
Yeah.
should do it.
You should do it.
Yeah.
You learn how to do the editing. It's very simple stuff.
Yeah, how hard could it be?
It's very simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, if you feel like there's a lot of filler in these movies, like I can't wait till we force you to watch Breaking Dawn Part 1 and 2.
Oh,
'Cause,
yeah,
like,
But those are
Yeah.
those are longer books, right? No?
I don't know.
it's one. I mean, it's just one book, you know.
The
fillers.
filler in those movies, though, speaking for myself, has a lot of like. There's like significant ironic value.
Yes. True.
That these movies don't really
True.
have.
Yeah.
They don't.
They don't.
And it's like
Which
that,
is good.
that
which
speaks
is
to
good.
them being like kind of better movies, but
Yeah,
like
for sure.
it tampers the entertainment factor a bit.
Yeah, and what's better? Like if you asked me what's better, like the Hunger Games series or the Twilight series, I would probably have to tell you that you should watch the Twilight series because that ironic value is meaningful to me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when people ironically watch a movie, I'm sure to some people it's like, oh, this is trash. This doesn't mean anything to me. That means so much to me to enjoy something
On any level.
on any level.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're better than the Hunger Games.
Do you guys rate either part over the other? Like, do you guys prefer?
Yeah. What's your favorite Twilight?
No, I
We're
meant
talking about
Hunger
Hunger-
Games.
Oh.
I meant Mockingjay.
Part 1 and 2.
Oh, I think part 1 is better.
You think part one's
really?
better?
Yeah,
I
this
kinda
is
like
my
part
this is
two.
my
Me too.
contrarian take. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is my Mockingjay part 1 is about armed resistance and propaganders. And part 2 is just fine. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I'm too jacked up on trackerjacker venom.
Yeah.
It's going to be a long night. I can't believe I have to get up at 3:30. What am I going to do?
You just not sleep.
I could just not
You
sleep.
just stay up all
But
night
I'm not
doing
going to be
Tracker
sleeping
Jacker.
tomorrow night
No.
because I'm working mornings this week. I booked all these movies. So like tomorrow I'm going to see Priscilla
Oh.
or Priscilla, which is how she pronounced her name. And I'm going to see Anatomy of a Fall, the Palme d'Or winner.
Oh yeah, cool.
But that movie is 3 hours long, and it was only playing at 8:30. So I'm not. It's going to be an even later night than tonight.
That's 3 hours.
I'm
long.
genuinely. It's 2.5 hours long, I think, and I'm genuinely not going to be able to get to sleep after that.
Are you going to TIFF at 8:30?
Yeah.
Maybe that's what me and my mom will do after our steak dinners.
Oh, go
Like
see
that.
Anatomy of Fall.
Yeah.
Yeah, do it. Yeah. And then I think Friday I'm gonna see May December, the new Todd Haynes movie featuring
With
President
Julianne
Julianne
Moore.
Moore. Yeah, very
President
exciting.
Julianne Moore.
Very exciting. So we'll see. And in next episode, if we record it after that,
At
which
some point
which
we will have
probably
seen
will,
Songbirds,
Songbirds and Snakes.
Songdong birds, and
Yeah,
So,
President
you know-
Snow at 18, we're going all the way back.
That's right. Yeah, young, hot Donald Sutherland, played by a new guy, but with Donald Sutherland's digital face on him. Yeah,
that's
strong
De-aged,
choice.
yeah.
Strong choice. I thought. Yeah.
excited for that.
Yeah, and Rachel Zegler, right, from West Side Story, who was very good in that. And the upcoming Snow White film as well.
Yep.
The live-action Snow White, which I'm sure will be great, like all live-action Disney movies. And also featuring Hunter Schafer from Euphoria, which I am excited about.
I really
because
like her.
she's not really in many movies. She's mostly in like Euphoria. And so it'll be nice to see her like not in Euphoria. And she plays a character, Tigress something or other,
Oh, yeah.
Tigress,
Tiger Lady.
that we
Yep.
see the Tiger Lady in these movies as well. She makes a cameo in Mockingjay Part 2.
I can't wait to see her before she gets all tigered out.
Yeah.
Before she becomes a furry.
Before she becomes a furry.
Yeah.
She's only maybe got the ears
Yeah.
at one point.
No,
possibly the
exciting.
tail.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe it'll be kind of a good movie. Or maybe it'll suck. It looks bad, if you ask me.
I saw like a bit of a commercial in like a YouTube pre-roll, and the CGI, it looked like there was a lot of CGI. I saw
Yeah.
a lot of CGI snakes.
Oh,
and they
great.
did not look
Nice.
good.
What about the songbirds? Those are real.
Didn't see much of those. They used real
They used,
songbirds. Yeah, they used real
thousands of birds were
jabberjays.
killed. Yeah.
But is President Snow, well, I guess he's not president at the time, is young Coriolanus Snow. Is
You really hit the anus on that one. That was good.
is he gonna become a songbird or a snake? Like, we don't know.
Well,
We don't
snake.
know. Yeah.
Well, I
Because he
thought, I
uses
was
poison.
I was joking. That was
And
a joke.
songbirds come from eggs, and so do snakes. Interesting.
Not so different.
Not so different, you and I. welly, well. Yes, and one thing that I forgot to mention in this, and then we'll go, is in the propaganda movie, the first one, Mockingjay one, the propaganda videos that they shoot are very similar to the trailers for the actual film, which is funny. And I don't. Right, and the actual logo, like you remember, Catching Fire ends with that burning logo.
Oh,
that logo is used in the propaganda in world in these films, right?
Oh, right.
So just yet another layer that we can enjoy. in
Francis
Mockingjay Part One.
Francis Lawrence better than Francis Ford Coppola?
Whoa. Okay.
For sure.
Okay. So this is how it goes. Number one, Jennifer Lawrence. She's beautiful. I'd do anything for her.
Yeah.
Anything. Number two,
Same.
I even up to and including watching her new movie No Hard Feelings.
I really want to see
which
that.
I did watch.
I hear it's amazing.
It's not very good.
Okay.
No, she's good in it though. It's actually pretty funny. It's not that bad.
That's all we could ask for
See?
these days.
Okay, number one, Jennifer Lawrence. I would kill for her. Number 2.
T.E. Lawrence of Arabia.
Number 2, T.E. Lawrence of Arabia, as portrayed by Peter O'Toole in Lawrence of Arabia and Robert Pattinson from Twilight in the Werner Herzog movie, the one with Nicole Kidman. I don't remember. Queen of the Desert or something. Nobody saw it. Okay, number 1. Fuck, sorry. We're going to be ending the show soon. Please don't stop listening. Number one. This is just the trackerjacker rant typically that I would go on. Number 1.
Thanks for coming on, MJ.
Is Francis? No, hang on, don't stop it yet. Number 1 is Francis. No, number 1 is Jennifer Lawrence. Hang on, shut up. Number 2, T. Lawrence from Lawrence of Arabia. Number 3,
Wait.
Francis Lawrence, director of the movies. Number 4, Francis Ford Coppola.
Are we ranking Francis's or Lawrence's?
Both.
Wow.
On the same continuum?
Oh. Number 5, Francis the Talking Mule. That was a series of talking mule movies back in the day. And number 6 is Hey everyone, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed The Hunger Games, Mockingjay Part 1 and 2, mega double special episode. Just wanted to say that the first of these 2 movies ends with a dedication in memory of Philip Seymour Hoffman. These were his last movies that he made. And I know I speak for Alex and myself, and I assume also probably MJ, and any guest who's been on the show, that Philip Seymour Hoffman is one of the greatest of all times, actors of all time. And we would like to dedicate this podcast episode to the memory of Philip Seymour Hoffman, one of the greatest actors of all time, one of the greatest actors of all time.
Oh, if you already know the answers to your questions, then why ask? Pig fuck!